A young man stumbled upon an unusual system, the shake system. Every single day he could roll a die to re-roll his attributes. But for 11 years straight, all he ever rolled were garbage stats. Sometimes it was the kind of trash you wouldn't touch in 1,000 years. Sometimes even worse. 10 millennia's worth of useless junk. After so long, he'd grown numb to it. He made a promise to himself. He wouldn't start cultivating until he rolled something extraordinary. This morning, like always, he rolled again. And, once again, the result? A spiritual root so worthless, it might as well not exist. Furious, he coughed up blood. Fed up, he decided to shake his innate destiny instead. And then, bam! A flash of golden light shot through the air. He had done it. He rolled a legendary tier destiny with 4 top-level traits: unmatched charm, elite sword talent, insane agility, and a perk that would grant him a peerless cultivation technique, along with 1,000 high-grade spirit stones when the game of life began. He lay there in shock, then burst into wild laughter. This changes everything. From now on, I'll just keep shaking until I hit a top-tier spiritual root. Even if it takes me until I am 40, so what? With this destiny, I'll have my place in the cultivation world. His name was Hanju. His parents had been servants under Elder Iron, an alchemist from the J Pure Sex Outer Division. Their job? Tending to spirit herbs. But when Hanju was just 6, they abandoned him and ran off. Since then, he took over their duties in the Medicine Valley. 2 years ago, 2 intersect cultivators suddenly showed up. Elder Iron was off handling some business, so the sect had sent them to guard the place. Still, Hanju hadn't rolled a single good spiritual root. Not one. My luck's cursed, he muttered. At this rate, I'll die shaking this stupid dice without ever getting a decent root. One day, Elder Iron finally returned and gathered everyone. You've all done well while I was gone, he said. No major issues. I'm proud of you. Everyone bowed their heads, pretending to be touched. It's our duty, Master Iron. We're honored to serve. Hanju rolled his eyes. Give me a break. Bootlickers. You can flatter him all you want. He's not giving out any rewards. But then, something unexpected happened. Elder Iron called Hanju and 3 others forward for a spiritual root check. Hanju was stunned. Wait, didn't he ban servants from cultivating? Why the sudden change? Then he saw it. Bloodstains on Elder Iron's robes. The old man was hurt. Lucky for Hanju, he still hadn't rolled a good root yet. The next kid checked. A chubby boy actually had a spiritual root. Elder Iron's eyes lit up. I'd like to take you in as my disciple. Come with me beyond the valley and begin your cultivation, he said. The boy nearly cried from joy. Yes, thank you, master. But Hanju knew the truth. That kid might never return. The world out there was brutal. I've got to get serious, Hanju thought. I need a spiritual root, fast. 3 more years slipped by. Then, one night, a strange sound echoed through the valley, a pig-like screech of laughter coming from Hanju's room. He had finally done it. He'd rolled a top-tier spiritual root, one with 6 attributes. Trembling with excitement, he was just about to start cultivating with the system when suddenly, Hanju's thoughts drifted to Elder Iron, that conniving fossil. The chubby kid he took? Never seen again. Probably long gone. Dead even. If that old man finds out I've started cultivating, things could turn ugly. Right then, the system chimed in with a sudden alert. You may now select a secluded spot. The system will generate a protective barrier. No cultivator outside will detect any activity within. Hanju lit up. A barrier? That changed everything. All right then. From this day on, I, Hanju, officially step onto the cultivation path. System, begin. The next second, his surroundings shifted. He was transported into the system's inner space. Options shimmered into view. Congratulations! You've awakened the Immortal Emperor's inheritance and obtained the unmatched technique. 6 realms of reincarnation. Now, select your primary cultivation path. Hanju guessed that mastering the 6 realms meant cultivating all 6 spiritual roots. Without hesitation, he chose Sword Cultivator as his main path. Spiritual energy surged around him, funneling into his body. Strength filled every part of him, and then something new appeared. A relationship panel. Curious, he opened it. Elder Iron, relationship. Hatred. Hanju clenched his jaw. You old scumbag, I slaved away planting herbs for you all these years, and you still hate me? But after a moment, he cooled off. Maybe he's still bitter about my parents running off. Either way, he's been gone for years. That's fine. I can finally train in peace. With his mind steady, Han Jue began his cultivation. He sensed the elements of wind, earth, wood, and water surrounding him. But oddly, there was no trace of fire or thunder energy. No problem, he thought. I'll master these four first. Suddenly, the system popped up with two new options. Gain a magic tool for the energy cultivation realm. Unlock concealment for your cultivation level and spiritual root. Hanju didn't even hesitate. The ability to hide my power? Now that's smart. He picked the second option. Time flew. 2 years passed. Hanju had pushed his cultivation of the four elements to the 7th level of the energy cultivation realm. Everything was going smoothly until trouble showed up, uninvited. Just as he was about to return from training, an inner sect disciple named Xing Hongxuan stopped him. Come with me, she said, turning toward a nearby forest. Hanju blinked. I don't even know this woman. Why is she calling me into the woods? He instantly pulled up his relationship panel again. Xing Hongxuan, Goodwill, 2 stars? Wait, could it be? Does she want to dual cultivate? Should I accept? Or accept? While Hanju was getting a little too hopeful, Xing Hongxuan dropped the bomb. Help me steal Elder Iron's alchemy recipe. Do that, and I'll take you out of the Jade Pure sect and into the demon cult. If you prove talented enough, I might even make you my cultivation partner. Hanju froze. What the hell? She's with the demon cult? Panic set in. If I betray the Jade Pure sect, I'll be hunted to the ends of the world. If I say no, she'll definitely kill me to shut me up. Hanju's mind raced. We're both at the 7th level of the energy cultivation realm, but I haven't learned a single spell. I can't fight her head on. Quickly, he spoke up. I don't even know where the alchemy recipe is. Besides, there's another sect member guarding the attic. But Xing Hongxuan didn't care. She shoved him down with ease. It's in the attic, she said coldly. And don't worry about the other guy. I'll handle the distraction. She pulled out a pitch-black alchemy. This'll activate your spiritual root. Before Hanju could react, she forced it into his mouth. As soon as he got back to his room, he had the system purge the alchemy from his body. No way was he letting some demon cult alchemy change him. While he debated what to do next, the system window popped up with 2 options. Option 1, steal the recipe, earn Xing Hongxuan's favor, and gain a 5-star hatred level from the Jade Pure sect. Option 2, refuse, sabotage her plan, and unlock the sword technique, Supreme Finger Divine Sword. Hanju didn't even blink. He picked the second option. That night, while Hanju was quietly cultivating, Xing Hongxuan's voice came from outside his window. I confirmed the recipes in the study. I'll draw the attic guard away. Your job is to sneak in and grab it. But listen up. There's a formation protecting the attic. If anything goes wrong, Elder Iron will come flying back, so move fast. Soon after, Hanju slipped into the attic, undetected. As promised, no one was around. He entered the study, pretending to search. He poked around aimlessly, dragging his feet. Yeah, right, this place is huge. Like I'd actually find anything in this mess. If that psycho really wanted the recipe, she could have done it herself. Instead, she's dragging me into this circus. Must be nuts. He glanced at the lavish room. Everything in here screams money. Even Elder Iron's pens are gold. Meanwhile, we medicine slaves scrape by on nothing. These rich bastards. Suddenly, Xing Hongxuan appeared behind him. What are you muttering about? Did you find it? She noticed Hanju wasn't really trying and narrowed her eyes. Her killing intent flared. Terrified, Hanju backed up and accidentally bumped into a cabinet. A vase tumbled off and shattered. And just like that, the alchemy recipe popped out. Hanju froze. You've got to be kidding me. What kind of idiot hides something like that behind a vase? I'm dead. Now that she's got what she wants, she's going to kill me. But instead of attacking, Xing Hongxuan threw her arms around him in excitement. You really are my lucky charm, she squealed. What a magical moment. Hanju stood there, speechless. This woman's insane. But he hadn't forgotten the system's deal. If she takes that recipe, I lose a Supreme Finger Divine Sword. I can't let that happen. Quietly, he picked up a brick, preparing to knock her out from behind. But just as he moved, a powerful force blasted them both across the room. Hanju hit the ground hard. The alchemy recipe flew into the air, right into the hands of the last person he wanted to see, Elder Iron. "You dare go after my alchemy recipe?" The old man's voice boomed. "You've got some nerve." Knowing she was no match, Xing Hongshuan didn't even try to fight. She turned and ran without looking back. When Hanju finally came to and saw Elder Iron standing there, he didn't miss a beat. "Master, you made it just in time. I nearly lost my life stalling that witch." Elder Iron narrowed his eyes. "Explain everything, now." Hanju laid it all out, every detail. Surprisingly, Elder Iron didn't press him or make things hard. That was all Hanju needed to hear. Without waiting around, he slipped away like a ghost in the night. Just then, the system chimed in. "Mission complete. You've successfully obtained the Supreme Finger Divine Sword." 2 more years rolled by. By now, Hanju had pushed all 4 of his spiritual roots to the 9th level of the energy cultivation realm. Only fire and lightning remained. Once those hit 9th level too, he'd break through to foundation establishment. It was time. At twilight, he packed his things and left the only home he'd ever known, 20 years of his life behind him. He walked straight to the gates of the Jade Pure Sect. "My name is Hanju. I'm a rogue cultivator at the 9th level of the energy cultivation realm. I wish to join your sect. Is there a way?" The gatekeeper was about to pass the message along when the outer sect steward, Yang Luo, happened to walk by. Curious, he asked Hanju to demonstrate his strength. Hanju raised a hand, casually unleashed a move from the Supreme Finger Divine Sword, and sliced the top clean off a distant mountain. The 3 of them were speechless. Yang Luo didn't hesitate. "Follow me." On the way, Hanju asked, "Does the Jade Pure Sect have a place for cultivating lightning and fire spiritual energy?" Yang Luo flinched slightly. "Lightning root? Could he have one?" he replied. "The inner sect might, but entry requires reaching foundation establishment. That said, if you're really a lightning spiritual root, you might just get a pass straight into the inner sect." Hanju didn't waste time. He revealed his lightning spiritual root on the spot. Yang Luo was stunned. He immediately took Hanju to see an elder. When Hanju casually displayed 3 different spiritual roots, the elder barely hid his shock. Just like that, Hanju was welcomed into the inner sect. No tests, no questions. He even received a luxury welcome package. Both the elder and Yang Luo instructed him to rest for now. They'd bring him to the inner sect once the great elder returned. Hanju exhaled. "Well, looks like I've accidentally become someone important." While waiting, he discovered that fire spiritual energy was abundant in the area. He didn't hesitate. He dove straight into cultivation. Half a year passed in a blink. One morning, Yang Luo returned, announcing the great elder's arrival. When he opened Hanju's door, he was stunned. Hanju had been cultivating non-stop for 6 straight months. And when Hanju finally opened his eyes, his fire spiritual root had already reached the 4th level. They left together to meet the great elder. The elder wasted no time. There are 18 peaks in the Jade Pure Sect. Each one has a teaching elder. If one of them takes a liking to you, you'll become an inner sect disciple immediately. If not, well, you'll need to reach foundation establishment quickly and enter the sect's minor competition. With that, they boarded a flying gourd, soaring toward the inner sect. Along the way, the great elder began introducing each of the 18 peaks and their respective masters to Hanju. Each of the 18 peaks had its own unique atmosphere, shaped by the temperament of its elder. Some were reserved and focused purely on cultivation. Others were constantly on the move, leading missions outside the sect. The great elder turned to Hanju. "So what kind of cultivation environment are you looking for?" Hanju thought for a moment before answering. "I prefer a quiet life, something low-key and dedicated to pure cultivation. I'm not into noise or standing in the spotlight." The great elder gave him a look, half amused, half approving, then chuckled. "Then, Jade Seclusion Peak is perfect for you. You'll fit right in." As they entered the inner sect, Hanju was stunned by the vastness of the landscape. He had always assumed the Jade Pure Sect was just a modest group, but what lay before him was on an entirely different level. While flying across the mountains, the great elder pointed out various important areas and landmarks. giving Hanju a brief overview of the intersect's layout. Eventually, they reached Jade Seclusion Peak. The entire mountain was calm, still, and elegant. The wind was soft, the air clear. It radiated a sense of peace. The teaching elder here, the great elder said, is Itsuan Fairy. Her cultivation level is deep and mysterious, and she prefers to stay in seclusion. This makes the peak especially quiet. On top of that, she doesn't tolerate romantic distractions among her disciples. Everyone here focuses strictly on their cultivation. Hanju's eyes lit up. This place is exactly what I've been looking for. Inside the main hall, the great elder introduced him to Zixuan Fairy. She looked at him and asked simply, Hanju, are you willing to dedicate yourself to cultivation, free from worldly distractions? Hanju was just about to respond when a voice interrupted from nearby. At last, a junior brother worth noticing has come to Jade Seclusion Peak. A young woman stepped forward. Hanju quickly glanced at his relationship panel. Chang Yue, goodwill. But instead of acknowledging her, Hanju turned to Shixuan Fairy and said firmly, unless ordered otherwise, I can remain in seclusion for 100 years without ever leaving the mountain. In an instant, Chang Yuer's goodwill dropped to a single star. Zixuan Fairy nodded slightly, then said, attack me. Without hesitation, Hanju unleashed all the spiritual power he had, condensing it into a blade of energy and sending it straight toward her like a bolt of lightning. But right before it hit her, it vanished. She looked at him calmly. Is that all you've got? Hanju nodded honestly. Yes, that's my only move so far. This sword technique is quite good, she said. You'll stay here at Jade Seclusion Peak from now on. As the great elder turned to leave, he gave Hanju a strange, knowing smile. But before Hanju could ponder what it meant, he caught Zixuan Fairy staring straight at him. Just as he was trying to figure out why, Chang Yue nudged him and whispered, she's waiting for you to pay your respects. Only then did it click. Hanju quickly dropped to one knee. Disciple Hanju pays respects to Master. May Master live forever. Zixuan Fairy blinked. Do you think I'm some empress? She sighed and turned to Chang Yue. Yue, take your junior brother to register with the inner sect and help him settle into a cave dwelling. Got it. Chang Yue said cheerfully, grabbing Hanju by the sleeve and practically dragging him away. As they walked, she turned to him with a grin. Need anything? Just come to me. Her gaze was so straightforward that Hanju had to look away. I wouldn't dare bother seeing your sister. But if you need anything, please don't hesitate to command your junior. That response made Chang Yue beam with joy. I've been stuck here for 5 years, and finally, a junior brother who looks good and talks right has arrived. I've hit the jackpot. I can't let him get away. Hanju noticed a look in his senior sister's eyes. It wasn't friendly. Her gaze was wild and greedy, like a wolf staring down its prey. A chill ran down his spine. This place is called Jade Seclusion Peak? More like Jade Danger Zone. Why are all the female disciples here so intense? Before he could think too much, Chang Yue had already arranged his cave dwelling. Conveniently, or maybe not so conveniently, it was located right next to hers. After she finally left, Hanju took a look around his new place. The interior was so refined and spacious, it felt more like a royal palace than a training spot. The inner sect really doesn't hold back. He opened his relationship panel again. His master, Zixuan Fairy, was listed as a nascent soul realm, level 3 cultivator. She's the most powerful person I've met so far. I absolutely have to stay close to her. The hierarchy of cultivation realms ran like this: Foundation Establishment, Golden Core, Nascent Soul. And beyond that? Only the Jade Pure Sect's founding ancestor had ever reached those heights. But he'd vanished years ago. Just as Hanju was about to start his training, the system suddenly popped up with a mission. Option 1, gain fame, lead Jade Seclusion Peak to become the strongest among all the peaks. Reward, an unmatched magical weapon. Downside, offend Zigan Fairy. Option 2, stay low-key, focus on training, and earn your master's approval. Reward, a rare agility technique. Hanju stared at the first option, speechless. Rising to the top of the sect sounds amazing, so why does that offend my master? This lady is seriously hard to figure out. Without realizing it, 3 more years slipped by. By now, Hanju had cultivated all his spiritual roots to the 9th level, except lightning. It was time. He sought out Zixuan Fairy. Master, I've brought both my wind and fire roots to the 9th level. Could you point me to a place where I can cultivate lightning energy? She blinked. You're trying to reach Foundation establishment with 3 types of spiritual energy? Before he could answer, she shut it down. Even mastering 1 is already difficult enough, and you want 3? You'll only invite a stronger heavenly tribulation. You'll fall behind in cultivation. It's not worth it. Hanju nodded politely. Makes sense. Everything comes with a price. But what Master doesn't know is, I have my own ways. He smiled faintly. Disciple is willing to devote all his time to cultivation. Six-Swan Fairy gave the faintest hint of a smile. There's a teleportation array in the inner sect. It leads to the Thunder Spirit Pool. Soon, Hanju arrived, and once again, the Jade Pure Sect shattered his expectations. I thought the Thunder Spirit Pool would be, what a pond. Before him stretched a vast, awe-inspiring lake, surging with energy and alive with flashes of lightning. I've really been living like a frog in a well. As he stood in awe, he noticed someone already cultivating near the water's edge, just one person in this entire massive space. While he was still looking around, a voice suddenly came from behind. A tree trunk twisted around, revealing a human face. Don't wander too far into the pool, it warned. You can only cultivate by the edge. If you walk in and get struck by lightning, well, that's on you. A sudden, miserable scream echoed through the entire Thunder Spirit Pool. Hanju blinked. Wait a second, did I just meet a tree demon? That's when it clicked. This wasn't just any training ground. The Jade Pure Sect had gone all out. Tree demons were renowned as cultivation catalysts. Even though this one looked kinda creepy, training near it would massively boost results. This place is perfect. Pumped up, Hanju shouted, I'll hit the 9th level within a year. The other person cultivating near the pool nearly fell over. Is this guy serious? That's not something a normal human would say. How arrogant can you get? But a year later, he was forced to eat his words. Hanju really did it. From 0 to 9th level lightning spiritual energy in just 1 year. Now, with all 6 spiritual roots perfected to the 9th level, Hanju had finally reached the great perfection stage of the energy cultivation realm. Purple lightning crackled and coiled around his body like a living dragon. He was ready. Time to break through to Foundation establishment. As he began the process, the blue-haired cultivator nearby looked up. Above, storm clouds began to form, thick and heavy with power. Purple lightning flickered across the sky, growing denser by the second. The man's expression changed. That lightning. This is a thunder tribulation? Just then, the tree demon emerged behind him. He's going for Foundation establishment here? Of all places? This pool amplifies thunder energy. He's gonna draw double the force of the tribulation. He turned to Hanju. You better run. It's already too late to save yourself. Everyone watching was convinced. Hanju was doomed. No preparation, no protection. No sane cultivator would trigger their tribulation in the Thunder Spirit Pool of all places. But then, something unbelievable happened. Instead of resisting the heavenly tribulation, Hanju absorbed it. He pulled the deadly lightning into his body, converting it into energy to forge his foundation. 2 years later, he had safely stepped into the 3rd level of the Foundation establishment realm. His lifespan now approached 200 years, all of it driven by one thing: Hanju's fear of death. While quietly savoring his progress, the system suddenly popped up again. Option 1, rise to fame in the Jade Pure Sect. Reward, the 9 Nether Thunder technique. Downside, gain the hatred of Six-Swan Fairy. Option 2, continue cultivating quietly, break through to Golden Core early. Reward, a supreme magical sword. Hanju stared blankly at the first one. Why does every famous path in this system make my master hate me? Just how much does she despise reputation? Right then, the blue-haired man who had been training nearby walked over. You must be the one they're calling Fuchu of Thunder Peak, right? Hanju asked. The man smiled. That's me. And you are? Hanju. As soon as Fuchu heard he was from Jade Seclusion Peak, his attitude shifted. A Jade Seclusion Peak disciple? That's a waste of your talent. Why don't you come to Thunder Peak instead? My master is a thunder cultivator. You'd thrive there. Hanju didn't hesitate. I've already taken Six-Swan Fairy as my master. A master for a day is like a parent for life. I can't just change sides like that. Still, I appreciate your offer, Brother Imal. Suddenly, the system flashed with a new alert. Hanju checked it, and froze. Status update. Xing Hongshuan, severely wounded. Narrowly escaped death while being hunted by Jade Pure Sect. Status update. Xing Hongshuan, Ambushed by fellow sect members. Survived by counter-killing her attackers. System notification. Xing Hongshuan has betrayed the Azure Nether Demon sect and is now being hunted. Her goodwill toward you has increased. Current status. Hanju was stunned. She's still alive, after all these years? We haven't even spoken, let alone met again. Where did all this goodwill come from? Meanwhile, Xing Hongshuan was barely staying ahead of her pursuers. After finally shaking them off, she exhaled. At last, I'm free of the demon sect. Confused about where to go or who to trust, a memory resurfaced. Hanju. That moment, back when he almost hit her with a brick, only to end up blocking most of Elder Iron's attack. To her, that wasn't an accident. It was protection. The first time someone stood up for me. In her heart, that one act was enough. Hanju had become irreplaceable. To her, he was her man. Back at Jade Seclusion Peak, Hanju was about to resume cultivating when he heard the sound of bells ringing through the mountain. Curious, he stepped out of his cave and ran into Chang Yuer. She explained, "That's Master's summons. All disciples to the main hall." The two leapt onto their swords and took off. By the time Hanju arrived, the hall was packed. His appearance immediately drew whispers and attention. People had heard of the rising talent from Jade Seclusion Peak. Moments later, Zixuan Fairy appeared and addressed the room. As per the sect leader's decree, from today onward, the bottom 3 peaks in the 18 peaks ranking will send disciples to the front lines. Our enemy, the Azure Nether Demon sect, has grown bold, sending spies, stirring trouble. The time to retaliate is near. Hanju's face twitched. Sending the bottom 3 peaks? Isn't that just offering up cannon fodder? Just then, the eldest disciple, Liu Sanxin, stepped forward. Though we've always been low-key, Jade Seclusion Peak is still part of the Jade Pure sect. We're ready to serve. Also, Master, I've heard the sect is launching a new elite training program, selecting top disciples from every peak to form the next generation's core. Hanju perked up. Elite training? Sounds like it was made for me. But then, unexpectedly, Zixuan Fairy looked straight at Hanju. I choose Hanju. The entire hall went quiet. Liu Sanjin and Hanju both froze, cold sweat forming on their backs. Hanju quickly bowed. Master, your praise humbles me. But I only wish to focus on cultivating quietly at Jade Seclusion Peak. Please, allow my senior brothers and sisters to seize this opportunity. Is she testing me? Could she suspect I'm a demon sect spy? Better to play it safe and turn it down. Zixuan Fairy studied him for a moment, then nodded. Very well, Liu Sanxin, you'll go. As the eldest disciple, you must not fail. Afterward, Liu Sanxin sought out Hanju. Junior brother, thank you for what you said back there. I owe you one. If you ever run into trouble, just say the word. Hanju smiled. Then I wish you smooth success, elder brother. At that moment, Chang Yuer dashed over. Elder brother, no need to worry. I'll look after junior brother in your absence. Liu Sanxin caught the hint in her voice. He glanced at Hanju and smirked before turning to leave. As soon as he was gone, Chang Yuer turned to Hanju and grinned. Speaking of which, junior brother, you've been holed up cultivating for quite a while now. And you haven't done a single sect mission yet, have you? Chang Yuer asked, raising a brow. Want me to take you along next time? Missions are a great way to rack up cultivation resources. No need, senior sister, Hanju replied calmly. I've still got enough spirit stones to get by. Chang Yuer wasn't giving up that easily. But contribution points from missions can be exchanged for elixirs and artifacts. It's not just about money. Hanju waved a hand. I'm afraid of dying. So yeah, I'll pass. Chang Yuer's jaw dropped. You're a cultivator? How can you be afraid of death? Hanju looked her dead in the eye. If we weren't afraid of death, why would we cultivate for immortality in the first place? That shut her up. Even Zixuan Fairy, who happened to overhear the conversation, was caught off guard by his reply. He doesn't sound like a spy at all. More like a loose cultivator with top-tier talent and zero resource issues. Still, I'll keep watching a while longer. And just like that, 10 more years passed. Hanju returned to the Thunder Spirit Pool, stepping onto familiar ground. As soon as he arrived, the tree demon perked up. So, you're back. I thought you were a genius. But after all these years, still stuck at the 3rd level of Foundation establishment? Disappointing. Hanju scratched his head casually. Cultivation isn't a race. Takes time. What the demon didn't know, Hanju was only revealing his lightning spiritual root. The other 5? Already at 5th level foundation establishment. Just then, Mafuchu approached with a girl beside him. Hanju, this is my sister, Moju, he introduced. Moju eyed Hanju curiously. Still at the 3rd level? My brother said you might have hit the 6th by now. Hanju just grinned. I'm pacing myself. He sat down cross-legged and began cultivating. Spirit stones don't grow on trees, so I'm going to make the most of this. If you're planning to train too, just give me some space. As soon as he started, spiritual energy surged toward him like a whirlpool. Mafuchu's eyes widened. That speed? It's insane. Faster than mine, and I'm at the 9th level. He's hiding his true strength. This guy's cultivation level isn't lower than mine. He's just suppressing it. Hanju trained like this for another 8 years, eventually pushing his lightning power to 9th level perfection. As he packed up to leave, the tree demon piped up. Hey, I know of an opportunity. You could gain a ton of cultivation resources. Hanju raised an eyebrow. Is it dangerous? Every opportunity comes with risk, the tree demon replied cryptically. Hanju didn't hesitate. Nope, not interested. And with that, he turned and left. Later, as he was collecting his accumulated mission salary from the past few years, Moju caught up with him. I need a favor. There's this opportunity. Huge potential. Hanju didn't even blink. Sorry, I've got to get back to cultivating. And poof! He vanished in front of her before she could say another word. But as he passed through the Intersect grounds, he overheard disciples chattering about the upcoming Intersect competition. A bolt of panic hit him. Damn it! I've been so focused on cultivation, I completely forgot about that. If Master finds out, she'll kill me. He rushed straight to Zixuan Fairy to come clean. Thankfully, she didn't reprimand him. But when she saw that Hanju's apparent cultivation level was still at the 3rd level of foundation establishment, she couldn't help but frown slightly. Hanju explained calmly, I'm actually at the 9th level of foundation establishment. I've just been suppressing my cultivation to stay low profile. That one sentence changed everything. Zixuan Fairy's expression softened, her goodwill rising significantly. Moments later, the system dinged in Hanju's mind. Task complete. Cultivate low-key and gain recognition from Zixuan Fairy. Reward. Secret technique. 7-fold illusion step. As Hanju mentally stashed the reward away, something else caught his eye. A new face stood beside his master. He turned and froze. It was Elder Iron. At the exact same moment, Elder Iron looked up and locked eyes with Hanju. They both blurted out each other's names in stunned unison. Zhang Yuir blinked, confused. Wait, you two know each other? Zixuan Fairy, unaware of their past, casually said, This is a new disciple who just joined Jade Seclusion Peak. You may call him Junior Brother Iron. Neither of them responded. Their expressions said it all, color drained, tension rising. Just then, Zixuan Fairy's tone shifted to something more serious. Hanju, since you're so committed to cultivation, I have a mission for you. Please don't be what I think it is, Hanju thought. I want you to guard the 10,000 demon realm. Cold sweat instantly formed on Hanju's back. The name alone sounds terrifying. Before he could protest, Cheng Yuier lit up. Ooh, that's where the sect keeps its demon pets. Master, let me go with him. But Zixuan Fairy shut that down immediately. No, that place is extremely dangerous. Demon beasts rampage often. Some disciples have died horribly. You are not going. If Hanju wasn't scared before, he was now. So she really is just sending me to die, and she's not even pretending it's safe. But one look at his master's expression, and he knew there was no way out. So it's like being a zoo security guard, except the animals can and will eat you. Guess I'll just take it easy once I get there. He bowed respectfully. Understood? I'll follow Master's arrangement. Then he turned to go pack. Watching them leave, Zixuan Fairy said to Elder Iron, I won't dig into your past with Hanju. From now on, consider yourselves brothers. Working together will only benefit you. As long as there's no deep resentment, try to let it go. She paused, then added meaningfully, From what I've seen, Hanju isn't the scheming type. In the future, he'll be one of the direct disciples of Jade Seclusion Peak. Fast forward, a year and a half passed in the 10,000 demon realm. Hanju spent his days cultivating and patrolling. Out of sheer boredom one day, he opened up the system's social feed and was hit with a wave of alerts. Your friend Moju was attacked by a demon cultivator and narrowly escaped injury. Your friend Moju was ambushed by a Jade Pure Sect disciple and fell off a cliff. Hanju sighed deeply. Every time there's an opportunity, it ends in near death. She really needs to stop chasing these so-called chances and just take care of herself. Stretching, he got up and headed out for his usual patrol. As he strolled along the path, he spotted a small, adorable cat perched on a tree branch. Seemed harmless enough. He turned away, but in the blink of an eye, the cute cat transformed into a giant beast and lunged at him, claws gleaming. Its talons slashed clean through Hanju's body, only for him to dissolve into mist, the real Hanju. Hanju was already on the rooftop, having just unleashed the sevenfold illusion step. This technique creates an afterimage with each level, and at its peak, 7 illusions split from the user. Hanju now had 7 identical forms, rushing at the demon beast from every angle, trapping it in a circle of illusions. All the figures struck at once, unleashing waves of sword energy using the supreme finger divine sword. Only one body was real, but to the demon beast, it was impossible to tell. Confused and overwhelmed, it took heavy damage in seconds, and bolted. Hanju didn't bother chasing it. Something was off. Demon activity was becoming more frequent, more organized. Sensing something bigger at play, Hanju chose to report what he'd seen. Once the higher-ups in the sect were informed, they acted fast. A meeting was called. Speculation spread like wildfire. Someone in the upper ranks had to be a traitor. With the sect leader still missing, there was only one option: launch a full-scale investigation. 2 years passed. Hanju sat deep within a restricted formation in the 10,000 demon realm. To his surprise, the formation itself turned out to be a hidden treasure. Not even cultivators at the Golden Core realm could enter. Completely soundproof and sealed off, it was the perfect place to train, or just breathe. He was feeling rather pleased, until a voice suddenly echoed from behind. "Young friend, using the 10,000 demon realm to cultivate, are we?" Hanju replied without turning, "What else?" But as the words left his mouth, something clicked. He spun around in alarm, only to find a rotund man standing behind him. This guy was clearly unfazed by the formation's restrictions, which meant his power had to be above the Golden Core level. "I'm also from the Jade Pure sect," the man said casually, "sent here to guard the 10,000 demon realm. From your appearance, you look like a 3rd-level Foundation Establishment cultivator, but your breathing gives you away. You're at the 9th level, aren't you?" He raised a hand dismissively. "No need to panic. So tell me, did you come here alone, or did your master send you?" Hanju answered, "My master, Zixuan Fairy, sent me." The man leaned in, intrigued. "Oh? Then, did she assign you any specific mission?" "Even if she did," Hanju said sharply, "why would I tell you?" "Ah, so it's a secret? Got it. How cute. But let me give you a heads up." He grinned. "You're in some serious trouble, kid." Before Hanju could respond, his system popped up with a relationship chart, startling him. His closest tie? The sect leader of the Jade Pure sect, Li Qingzi, who apparently had a thing for Zixuan Fairy. Li Qingzi finally stepped in, explaining the deeper threat. Lately, demon beasts have been unusually restless. They're under the control of Demon King Tiger Heart White Dragon, a creature that never forgets a grudge and always strikes back. He lowered his voice. "A full-scale beast uprising is brewing, all orchestrated by Tiger Heart White Dragon. Now tell me, what did you do to provoke him?" But Hanju wasn't paying attention anymore. His mind raced, not with fear, but with rage. Images of Li Qingzi and his master, Zixuan Fairy, kept flashing in his head. That guy isn't worthy of her. "Junior friend," Li Qingzi said, trying to snap him out of it, "I asked you a question." Hanju finally recounted everything that had happened. Li Qingzi nodded slowly, deep in thought. "Strange, this uprising by the demon beasts." "Looks like the uprising came earlier than we expected," Li Qingzi said grimly. "This likely wasn't your doing. I'd wager the demon cult is pulling strings in the background. As for your run-in with Tiger Heart White Dragon, just a coincidence. Lucky for you, it must have exhausted too much spiritual energy. Otherwise, you'd be dead by now." He eyed Hanju carefully. "Tell me, what movement technique did you use to outrun a demon king?" Hanju replied offhandedly, "Just something I picked up along the way. It's quick, that's all." That answer drove Li Qingzi up the wall. "We're talking about a demon king here. Even Golden Core experts would have a hard time keeping up with it. And you just brushed it off?" He sighed, pushing aside his frustration. "Right now, the real issue is the beast uprising. We need to deal with the core of it." Hanju raised an eyebrow. You mean, kill it? Li Qingzi nodded. Hanju looked at him like he'd grown a second head. Senior, kill it? That Demon King's strength is terrifying. If we just eliminate it, who's going to pay the price for that power being lost? Li Qingzi smiled faintly. Maybe this is the opportunity your master had in mind when she sent you here. You've already survived a clash with a Demon King. That movement technique of yours, it's not ordinary. With skills like that, you're more than capable of making a name for yourself. I say, go tame the beast. Without a word, Hanjue turned and walked away. Find someone else, Senior. I came here to cultivate, not fight Demon Kings. Li Qingzi called out after him. Wait. If you succeed, I'll trap the Demon King with a formation. No need to fight it head-on. And if you can subdue it, I'll personally teach you the Jade Pure Sect's most guarded secret, the Jade Purity Art. At that moment, Hanju's system popped up with a choice. Option 1, accept the mission. Subdue Tiger Heart White Dragon. Gain Li Qingzi's secret technique. Draw the Demon King's hatred, and attract the attention of the Azure Nether Demon Sect. Option 2, refuse. Continue cultivating quietly. Receive a sword technique manual. But Li Qingzi's favorability will drop. Hanju considered the cost. Demon King's wrath, Demon Sect's gaze, and didn't hesitate. Sorry for the trouble, Senior. I'll be on my way. And just like that, he walked off, leaving Li Qingzi standing there, fuming. How in the world did my junior sister end up with such a stubborn disciple? With a heavy sigh, Li Qingzi turned to face the growing threat alone. I knew it. You're here, Demon King. I could sense you from the start. And then, battle erupted. Li Qingzi clashed fiercely with Tiger Heart White Dragon. Days passed. Then Chang Yuer arrived in the 10,000 Demon Realm, alongside the 7th senior brother of Jade's Seclusion Peak, Menghe. The two had been sent by Gizwan Fairy to support Hanju. Shortly after they arrived, Menghe set off alone to scout the area. Chang Yuer stayed behind with Hanju. This mission was Master's idea, she explained. She was worried about your safety. Word is, spies from the demon cult have already infiltrated this realm. We need to stay sharp. Hanju nodded and replied immediately. Then we should leave. No point in risking our lives here. Just as Chang Yuer was about to respond, Menghe stumbled back, battered and covered in wounds. I found a group of demon beasts near the cliffs, trapped in a formation, he said between heavy breaths. On my way back, I ran into a golden core demon beast. Hanju didn't waste a second. He pulled out an elixir and handed it to Menghe, watching him drink it down. You can't be careless outside, Hanju thought grimly. Menghe's condition proves it. And right then, they saw something that made their blood run cold. A thunderous rumble shook the ground. A massive horde of demon beasts was charging straight at them. Hanju instinctively prepared to run, but Chang Yuer stopped him. This area falls under Jade Seclusion Peak's responsibility. If we flee now, wouldn't that be desertion? Hanju didn't even blink. Then feel free to stay and die a hero. I'll make sure to sing songs of your bravery to Master. Even Menghe dropped the pretense. Hanju's right. Each of the 18 peaks has its own territory to defend in the 10,000 demon realm. This attack isn't just on us. If we want to keep fighting, first we have to survive. Let's go, now. No sooner had they stepped outside than a massive demon beast crushed the entire attic behind them. The stampede wasn't slowing down. Something was wrong. The way the demon beast kept pushing forward, it wasn't random. The cult had to be behind this. Suddenly, Hanju felt a wave of demonic energy flood the air. A massive eagle swooped down, jaws wide open. Without hesitation, Hanju grabbed Chang Yuer and leapt away, dodging it by a hair's breadth. At that exact moment, Menghe broke off and fled without looking back. Hanju grit his teeth. Coward. He just ditched us and ran. Chang Yuer's scream snapped him back to reality. Above us! Hovering in the sky were 7 demon beasts, 1 at the golden core level and 6 more at the peak of Foundation establishment. They dove straight at them. Chang Yuer shut her eyes in despair, convinced this was the end. But Hanjue smiled. 3 glowing sword shadows formed around him, each a different color. It was the 3 pure shadow sword, the very technique he'd received for turning down Li Qingzi's mission. He whispered one word, slash. In an instant, all 7 beasts were cut down midair, obliterated before they hit the ground. Chang Yuer stood frozen. She couldn't believe what she had just seen. Her heart pounded, that look in his eyes. She felt her face flush. Then, just as quickly, the moment shattered. Hanju bent down, grinning. Not a bad haul. These beasts are walking treasure chests. I hear you can trade 'em in for spirit stones. He started packing up the corpses like it was a grocery run. Chang Yuer could only gape. Where's the serious junior brother from before? When they reached the 10,000 Demon Realms teleportation array, Meng, he came sprinting up, eyes wide with joy. You're alive! Thank the heavens! His relief was short-lived. Chang Yuer promptly kicked him in the face. Why couldn't you be the one eaten by demon beasts? Once they were safely out, Hanju wasted no time. He went straight to exchange the beast corpses for spirit stones. Seeing the heavy pouch filled to the brim, he practically sparkled with excitement. Maybe I should head back in for another round. Chang Yuer caught that look in his eyes. Forget it. The 10,000 Demon Realm was created by the sect specifically for raising demon beasts. They're incredibly valuable. Normally hunting them is strictly forbidden. This time's an exception, but don't push your luck. As she spoke, she continued pummeling Meng He on the side. Hanju sighed. Fine, fine. Back to peaceful cultivation it is. I'll just save up the honest way. He glanced at his spirit stones. Still, this might be enough to attempt breaking into the Golden Core. Then, the three of them went to report everything that had happened in the 10,000 Demon Realm to Zixuan Fairy. She listened quietly. When they were done, she simply nodded and dismissed Chang Yuer and Meng He, but asked Hanju to stay. The moment the others left, Hanju's nerves spiked. Is she about to call me out? Is Master still suspicious of me? Will this ever end? Then, without warning, Zixuan Fairy spoke. Hanju, why do you cultivate? He answered without hesitation. For immortality. That caught her off guard. She blinked, momentarily speechless. You think locking yourself away to cultivate endlessly will lead to immortality? That's not how it works. I understand, Master, Hanju said. But I need strength first. Once I'm strong enough, I'll seek opportunities. Inwardly, though, his thoughts were smug. With my talent and luck, who needs opportunities? Zixuan Fairy rubbed her temples, clearly frustrated. I've already arranged one for you. Had you done something worthwhile in the 10,000 Demon Realm, you'd already be a core disciple. But no, you threw that chance away. She paused, eyes narrowing. Also, I still can't figure out the nature of the technique you're cultivating. It's too strange, even for me. Still, she continued, how would you like your own innate spiritual energy cave dwelling? Not just lightning, it contains multiple spiritual elements. Hanju's eyes lit up. Where is it? Near the Jade Pure Sect, she replied. But to claim it, you'll need a place in the top 3 of the intersect competition. Hanju's excitement deflated a little. This competition, it's not dangerous, right? Zixuan Fairy stared at him, fists clenched. I should just punch him. It's a competition, not a death match. You'll survive. Will there be Golden Core level cultivators in it? She practically snapped. Do you think Golden Core cultivators grow on trees? Anyone at that level becomes a core disciple or an elder. Relax. Reassured, Hanju grinned. Then I'll gladly take that cave dwelling. With 8 years until the intersect exam, Hanju got to work immediately. He headed straight for the Wind Spirit Pool, determined to elevate all 6 of his spiritual roots to the 9th level of Foundation establishment before the exam. But just as he began his training, something caught his eye. A group of people ganging up on someone nearby. He glanced over and saw a melon the guy had dropped roll past him. Not my problem. I'm here to train. But then, system notification. Innate destiny detected. View origin. Hanju blinked. Innate destiny? He tapped open the notification. The one being bullied was named Zhou Fan, reincarnation of a great vehicle realm cultivator. Born in an ordinary town, both Zhou Fan and his childhood friend were found to have spiritual roots and brought into the Jade Pure Sect. What no one knew was that deep in his soul rested a powerful spiritual treasure, damaged but slowly healing. That treasure had been shielding Zufan all his life, and now it was beginning to recover. But while it absorbed spiritual energy during cultivation, It also slowed Zhou Fan's progress to a crawl. Once the treasure's restored, he'll awaken. Han Ju stared at him, stunned. A great vehicle realm cultivator in his past life. This guy's basically the protagonist of a novel. He hesitated. He's fated to be the main character. So what now? Helping him might take me places. Han Ju paused mid-thought. No. How many side characters have met tragic ends by getting too close to a protagonist? He shut the idea down immediately. Better to stay out of it. My path to power will come through my own cultivation. He glanced briefly at Zhao Fan. Go on, Chosen One. Walk your destiny without dragging me into it. Time passed in a blink. 8 years flew by. By now, Hanju had pushed all his spiritual roots, except water and earth, which lagged slightly, to the 9th level of foundation establishment. Just as he stepped out of the spirit pool, he spotted Zhou Fan nearby. He was confessing to a girl, and getting friend-zoned. Hard. Hanju rolled his eyes and was about to walk away, when Zhou Fan suddenly called out, Hey, Senior Hanju, right? Hanju stopped. I'm Zhu Fan, from Thunder Peak, he said, jogging up. I've heard a lot about you from Senior Brother M.O. He always says you'll become one of the sect's greatest cultivators. Hanjue raised an eyebrow, preparing himself for a sparring challenge. Instead, Zhou Fan suddenly dropped to his knees. Senior, I've heard you're amazing with women. Please, teach me how to win the heart of the one I love. Hanjue stood there, completely thrown off. Wait, what? He composed himself. Brother Zhou, let me offer you some advice. Forget about love. A true cultivator shouldn't be shackled by such worldly attachments. What are romantic feelings compared to the great Tao? He gestured calmly. Attain the Tao, and the rest will come to you naturally. Have you ever seen me chasing women? No. That path takes inner clarity. Understanding your heart is the key. Zhou Fan looked up at him as if beholding a sage, visibly moved. His goodwill toward Hanju instantly rose. 1 star earned. Fool, Hanju thought smugly. It's all about the looks. Can you even compare to me? Later, when Hanju returned to Jade Seclusion Peak, the sect bell began to chime, a summons for all disciples. On his way to the main hall, he ran into his eldest senior brother. Hanju, the senior asked, do you know someone named Xing Hongshuan? Hanju froze. How does he know about her? The senior brother continued. Over the past few years, I've been assisting the sect leader, operating undercover in the 10,000 demon realm, clashing with the demon cult. All our intel came from a traitor, someone working inside the cult. He lowered his voice. That traitor's name is Xing Hongshuan. Hanju's heart sank. She was forced into spying after being poisoned as a child, the elder went on. But she never accepted her fate. She's always hated the demon cult, and even tried to find an antidote while in the outer sect. Eventually, the sect leader rescued her and made her an inner sect disciple, an exception to the rules. Now, he added, she cultivates on the main peak under Master Jingsu, the sect leader's junior sister. Hanju's breath caught when the senior brother finished. Earlier, we bumped into her. She was asking about someone named Hanju, a servant who used to be an alchemist. He gave Hanju a knowing look. Coincidence, huh? We just happened to have a Hanju here at Jade Seclusion Peak. Caught off guard, Hanju hesitated, then gave a slow nod. Yes, I'm the one she's looking for. That passed, I can't deny it. To his surprise, the eldest brother didn't question him. Instead, he stepped forward and clasped Hanju's shoulder warmly. Don't worry, the eldest brother said warmly. I understand. Just didn't expect you to be this talented, that's all. Hanju finally exhaled in relief. Later, in private, he opened Xing Hongshuan's profile panel through his system. Seeing her level of goodwill, he murmured, I don't deserve this. You've done nothing but stay loyal. I hope your future is free from pain. Soon, all the disciples gathered in the great hall. Sixwan Fairy stood at the front, her voice echoing clearly. The inner sect examination is approaching. Each peak must send at least 10 disciples. Who's ready to enter? Hands shot up across the room. Nearly everyone volunteered without hesitation. Seeing the sea of raised hands, Hanju thought, well, everyone's excited. I guess I should at least act supportive or it'll look weird. But before he could even pretend to raise his hand, Hanju, Zisun Fairy called out, choosing him first. Every head turned. Whispers followed. Hanju broke into a cold sweat. Wait, I didn't even raise my hand. But Swim Fairy didn't even glance at him again. She continued selecting other disciples as if nothing had happened. After the list was finalized, she once again asked Hanju to stay behind. I see your cultivation has improved again, she said calmly. I truly underestimated you. Even while cultivating 3 spiritual roots, your progress is unmatched in the entire sect. Hanju bowed modestly. It's all thanks to your guidance, Master. The credit is yours. She looked at him flatly. Funny, I don't recall teaching you anything. Hanju froze. Your cultivation technique and swordsmanship, they're not part of the Jade Pure sect's core teachings, which means someone else taught you. But I've observed you closely since you arrived. You train hard. You've never acted against the sect. She folded her arms. Other disciples have confirmed you're from the outer sect, which means you came across some kind of opportunity when you were young. She gave a small sigh. That's your fortune. I won't question it. I'm telling you this because I want you to be at ease in the upcoming examination. No one will use your past against you. She paused. To prevent any future issues, starting today, you're officially my direct disciple. Hanju blinked in shock. At that moment, the system notification popped up. Reward, 9 Dragons Demon Subduing Seal, his heart soared. Thank you, Master. May Master live 10,000 years. Back in his cave dwelling, Hanju wasted no time diving into the new technique. The 9 Dragons Demon Subduing Seal was like a palm technique, capable of unleashing different effects based on the spiritual power used. It instantly became one of his trump cards. But the more he practiced, the more he worried. These attacks pack serious force. I have to be careful not to overdo it. Just then, Chang Yue arrived and dragged him to the announcement board. The exam starts tomorrow, she said. One-on-one battles between disciples from all the peaks. It'll narrow down to the top 10. After that, she added, the finals will be held in the inner sect city. The entire sect will be watching. Hanju let out a breath. Good. At least the early matches won't draw a crowd. I don't want too much attention. Just as he was about to leave, someone appeared behind him. Husband? Hanju instinctively stepped back. Miss, you can't just go calling someone that. Xing Hongshuan giggled, covering her mouth. Didn't we make that agreement in the outer sect? Hanju sighed. That was just an act. I only played along because I thought you'd kill me if I didn't. She chuckled and pulled out a small jade bottle. This is the Jade Purity Alchemy, she said. I don't really use it, but it's perfect for you. Before Hanju could refuse, she slipped the elixir into his hand. Just take it, Xing Hongshuan said gently. I get these elixirs regularly. My talent's nothing special, but if you ever need help, husband, I'll do everything I can. With that, she stepped onto her sword and soared away, leaving Hanju standing there, the elixir still in his hand. He stared at it for a long while, completely dazed. Elsewhere, in a dimly lit hall, Xing Hongshuan sat across from Master Jingshu. You gave that boy the Jade Purity Alchemy, Jingshu said calmly. Any regrets? None at all, Xing Hongshuan replied. I've fallen for him, completely. Jingshu frowned. Over a pretty face? Isn't that reason enough? Xing Hongshuan smiled faintly. Besides, his talent's off the charts. When I first met him, he hadn't even started cultivating. Now, the sect leader says he's already at the 9th level of foundation establishment. That fast? Jingshu narrowed her eyes. Then why haven't I heard of him before? The sect leader said he's always holed up in seclusion, low profile, doesn't even accept opportunities, claims he's afraid of dying. That made Jingshu chuckle. Interesting. I'll have to keep an eye on him myself. On the day of the intersect examination, Hanju arrived at the venue and froze. So many people? How am I supposed to stay low-key with this crowd watching? Just then, his system pinged. Intersect examination. Choose your path. 1. Win with flash and flare. Become instantly famous across the Jade Pure sect. Reward. 1,000 high-grade spirit stones. 2. Win quietly. Reach the top 3 with minimal attention. Reward. 1 spiritual treasure. Hanju didn't even hesitate. He picked the second option with a grin. This system knows me too well. There's always a low-key option. It must match the cultivation path I chose. He nodded to himself. This is it. Quiet dominance. I'll stay undefeated and unnoticed. The matches began. Lu Renjia and his sister were in the crowd, curious to see what Hanju would do, but on stage he was dodging awkwardly, barely defending himself. His opponent from Heavenly Execution Peak grew more and more aggressive, convinced victory was in reach. The audience lost interest quickly. One by one, they trickled out to watch other matches. Even the judges started dozing off. Only Lu Renjie caught on. He's faking it. Once the stands were nearly empty, Hanju's eyes gleamed. He slipped behind his opponent, and in a single move, sent him flying out of the ring. The impact jarred the judges awake. Huh? It's over? One muttered. They turned just in time to see Hanju standing alone on stage. Winner, Hanju. He kept the same routine throughout the rounds, staying passive until the crowd thinned out, then striking with precision. Match after match, he secured quiet victories until he'd made it into the top 10. Days later, while cultivating, Hanju paused. The air felt off. The leaves were still. But he could hear wind. Suddenly, tendrils of dark energy slithered through the air, closing in. Hanju didn't flinch. He unleashed the 9 dragons' demon-subduing seal, sending out waves of spiritual force. The dark energy tried to retreat, but Hanju chased it down like it cost him nothing, hurling seals with relentless power. A cry echoed from the shadows. Wait! Stop! Don't attack! I'm a supreme elder of the Jade Pure sect. Hanju froze, stunned. The shadow shifted, revealing an elderly figure, clearly furious. How dare you! Is this how you treat your elders? You've got no respect at all. Hanju stared at him, still processing what just happened. I was just passing by, the old man snapped, and you greet me with full force attacks? Hanju blinked, at a loss. Senior, it's the middle of the night, and your sudden appearance was, well, suspicious. What were you trying to do? The old man huffed. The divine ability I cultivate activates on its own. Soul projection. Ever heard of it? But despite his words, he was clearly shaken. What kind of spell was that? You almost shattered my soul. Since when are inner sect disciples this terrifying? Hanju considered reporting it to his master, but the old man panicked. Wait, please don't tell her. I'm sorry, all right? Actually, your master is my disciple. So is the current sect leader. He gave a sly smile. You, young man, you've got an extraordinary physique. How about I pass on my legacy to you? A secret, unmatched technique. Heavenly strong golden body. Only I, the sect leader, and the Jade Pure sect's inner circle know of it. He whipped out a dusty manual like it was a treasure. Hanju stared at it for a second, then immediately declined. I almost blasted this old man into pieces, and now he's suddenly this generous? Nope. Sounds like a trap. Later, Hanju told Zixuan Fairy everything. She rubbed her forehead. That old troublemaker again. By the way, master, Hanju asked, this heavenly strong golden body, how strong is it? Her expression shifted. It's extremely powerful, easily one of the top techniques in the Jade Pure sect. But, she added awkwardly, before cultivating it, you have to sever the human root. What's the human root? She looked away. The essence of a man. Hanju fell silent, his face blank. So that means the sect leader and the elder. Zixuan Fairy cleared her throat. This matter must not be spoken of. As he left the meeting, Hanju was still reeling. That's a steep price to pay for power. Soon, the intersect examination for the top 10 began. The crowd was massive. Cheers, noise, banners everywhere. Hanju scanned the crowd, worried. Low-key approach is officially out the window. Should I just end my matches fast and get it over with? Then, Chang Yuer arrived, flanked by an entire cheer squad waving flags with Hanju's name on them. Before he could react, he felt someone else's intense gaze. Turning, he locked eyes with Zhou, who stared at him with blazing determination. Just then, Ma Ju stepped forward. Brother Han, I believe in you. You'll definitely take first place. Immediately, Chang Yuer narrowed her eyes. And who are you? Ma Ju smirked. None of your business. Grow a few years older before talking to me. Otherwise, your dear brother Han might land himself in prison. Tension crackled between them. Then, Xing Hongshuan walked over. Husband. That single word hit like a spark in dry grass. How dare you call him that? Chang Yuer snapped. Xing Hongshuan shrugged. I'm happy to. The atmosphere turned deadly as all 3 women glared at each other. This is a disaster, Hanju thought. Finally, the announcement came. The first match. Hanju versus Zhou. As the two stepped onto the stage, Zhou growled, You told me you never got close to women. Hanju held up his hands. I swear, I didn't mean for this to happen. I'm struggling too, all right? Without answering, Zhoufan lifted his left hand, revealing a mysterious black bell glowing faintly in his palm, his innate spiritual treasure. Brother Han, Zhoufan said seriously, go all out, no holding back. Please, treat me as a true rival. His confidence was palpable. Hanju's smile faded. All right then, let's make this a real fight. 3 glowing sword energies spun into place around Hanjue. Across from him, Zhoufan's eyes flashed purple, and a surge of spiritual power wrapped around him. His spiritual treasure had activated absolute defense. Hanju didn't waste breath. He launched his sword energies like bolts of lightning. Before anyone could react, Zhoufan's prized defense shattered instantly. The force of the strike sent him flying through the air like a paper kite caught in a storm. The crowd was stunned. That's it? Whispers rippled through the stands as disbelief settled in. But the match was over. Soon, the top 5 competitors were decided. It was time to draw lots for the next round. Whoever pulled the red lot would get a free pass into the top 3. Hanju stepped forward, casually drew a slip, and sure enough, it was red. He chuckled. My luck really is outrageous. Then it hit him. Top 3. That means I get to choose an innate cave dwelling. It's finally within reach. After a series of intense duels, the final 3 were confirmed. Just as one of the elders stepped forward to announce the rules for the final showdown, Hanju raised his hand. I concede. Used up too much spiritual power in my earlier match. I haven't recovered yet. I'll take 3rd place. The elder gave him a long, thoughtful look, then nodded. Hanju takes 3rd. Right then, the system chimed in. Reward unlocked, Golden Cicada Mystical God Robe. A 7th grade spiritual treasure, capable of automatically activating to block attacks. When infused with spiritual power, it could even absorb a full-strength blow from a spirit transformation cultivator. Hanju's eyes lit up. A robe that defends itself? That's insane. He was practically drooling with excitement. Once the exam concluded, the top 3 were taken to the main peak hall by Elder Taoist. Inside, true person Jingsu welcomed them. As a reward, you'll each choose one of 3 innate cave dwellings, she said. With a flick of her wrist, 3 glowing light spheres appeared, drifting outward toward the mountains beyond Jade Creek's 18 peaks. These spheres will guide you to your new homes. The 1st place and 2nd place winners made their selections. A single white sphere remained. Mixed elemental energy, the elder explained, but its spiritual energy density rivals that of a spirit pool. Hanju's heart nearly exploded from joy. Perfect! With 6 spiritual roots, this is exactly what I need. He followed the white sphere eagerly to his new cave mansion. As soon as he arrived, he whipped out the Golden Cicada Mystical God Robe and slipped it on. It vanished the moment it touched his body, completely invisible, like it wasn't there, but Hanju could feel it, a layer of security wrapped around him like armor. This is real power. Half a month passed in peaceful cultivation. One day, Zhoufan and Lu Renjia arrived outside his cave dwelling. Zhoufan looked around. Are we sure this is really Hanju's place? Lu Renjia pointed to the large characters carved outside the cave entrance. A moment of patience leads to a vast sky and ocean. They both nodded. Yep, that's Hanju, all right. From inside, Hanju recognized their voices and quickly came out. What brings my 2 brothers to my humble abode? Lu Renjia grinned. The sect just issued a batch of missions targeting the Azure Nether Demon sect. You in? Zhoufan added, We're planning to wipe out one of their branch strongholds. I've done some digging. Tons of spiritual pills and rare elixirs stored there could really help boost your cultivation. Hanju's interest piqued instantly, but Hanju didn't even hesitate. Thanks for the offer, truly, but I'm not leaving anytime soon. I need to enter seclusion. It's time for me to break through. He clasped his hands politely. May your future shine like embroidered brocade. Lu Renjia, unwilling to give up, added quickly, If you come with us, any Tribulation Crossing alchemy we find, it's yours first. Chapter 24. Hanju paused mid-step. Lu Renjia's eyes lit up. Got him. That's right, he thought. If you want to persuade someone like Hanju, don't talk about honor or friendship. Talk cultivation. Everyone needs a stepping stone to ascend. He knows that. I can see it in his eyes. But Hanju wasn't moved by the offer. He was just looking at the system notification that had just appeared. Mission options. Join your fellow disciples on the mission, gain merit, and receive a low-grade spirit stone. Stay in seclusion, cultivate alone, and receive a magical tool. Hanju squinted. Seriously? This again? He let out a breath. Still not going, he said flatly. 2 years passed. Hanju finally perfected his 6th series spiritual power. It was time. Golden Core Realm. Breaking through wasn't easy. Only 2 or 3 out of every 10 Foundation Establishment cultivators succeeded. Not because the heavenly tribulation was brutal, but because of the inner demons. They whispered doubts, triggered fear, broke even the strongest minds. Even immortals dreaded them. But Hanju, when the inner demon came face to face with him, it immediately regretted showing up. The demon hissed, "You're already powerful. Why keep hiding? The world is yours for the taking. Whether you become a saint or a sovereign who rules all, it's your choice." Hanju blinked. That's it? Then, with a casual flick of his hand, he obliterated the inner demon on the spot. No drama, no hesitation. Now all that was left was the heavenly tribulation. 10 days later, Hanju stepped into the Golden Core Realm. The system chimed again. Reward, supreme magical weapon, Krillin sword. Forged from the bones and sinews of a real Krillin, infused with its soul. Able to repel evil, its divine aura cut through darkness itself. Also unlocked. Divine ability, 6 paths soul absorption. But the thing Hanju was most excited about? His lifespan had increased again. He immediately set a new goal, reach nascent soul realm within 100 years. Feeling good, he decided to relax a bit and browse his friend's circle. What he saw stopped him cold. Sect leader Li Qingzi, ambushed repeatedly by demon cultivators. What's happening? Even the sect leader's being hunted? Has the Azure Nether Demon sect already launched a full-scale attack? His heart dropped. How is Master doing? Without hesitation, he turned and made for Jade Seclusion Peak's Great Hall. But as he crossed the sect grounds, chaos met him at every step. Smoke rose from corners of the sect. Disciples were injured everywhere. Emergency signals flared. The whole sect was in turmoil. When Hanju finally reached the Great Hall and bowed before Zixuan Fairy, she narrowed her eyes. Well, you remembered to return. I thought you'd already defected to the other side." Hanju scratched his head, awkwardly trying to explain, but before he could get a word in, she continued. The Jade Pure sect was on the brink of disaster. "You still have time," someone said. "Leave the sect now, and you might avoid what's coming." Hanju froze. The words hit hard. But then, a system prompt flashed before him. System alert. The Jade Pure sect leader's fate hangs by a thread. Life or death unknown. You have 2 choices. Abandon the sect and wander the cultivation world. Reward, 1 energy-gathering alchemy. Stay with the sect. Defend it until it falls, or until the Azure Nether Demon sect retreats. Reward, 1 magical tool and a spell manual. His instincts screamed for the first option. Then, almost hesitantly, he asked, "Master, what about you?" Fairy Zizwan stood steady. "I will face whatever comes, live or die, with the Jade Pure sect." Hanju looked at her for a moment, then made his decision. "Then, as your disciple, I'll stay too. I'll stand or fall with you." A quiet shift occurred. Zixuan Fairy's favorability toward you has increased too. Hanju blinked. 1 more star. Would that make her consider me as a cultivation partner? Zixuan Fairy raised a brow. "You're not afraid of death?" "Everyone dies eventually. Whether it's like a feather or like a mountain. I came to cultivate, not to run, and I won't leave my master behind." In truth, he thought to himself, unless I'm facing someone I absolutely can't handle, I'll always find a way to survive. "But I haven't taught you much," she said. "There's no need to go this far. You've already done more than enough, Master. You fought for me, cleared obstacles for me. I remember it all. Even if you never personally taught me, your care speaks volumes." Those words were straight from the heart. In this lifetime, no one had treated Hanju with more genuine kindness. Fairy Spiswan's expression softened. "Any struggles in your cultivation lately? You can train with me, just like Changyua." He waved it off. No need to trouble you, master. She stared at him, deadpan. You brat, refusing your master's guidance? Once Hanju left, she handed a storage pouch to Chang Yue. Help your junior brother. Everything he'll need is in here. Back at his cave mansion, Hanju was surprised to find Chang Yue already there. Fairy Zixuan had sent her to help fix up the place. She'd set a formation at the entrance. Any intruder would be lost in an illusion trap. Inside, she'd planted spirit herbs to enrich the spiritual energy in the air. Hanjue was thrilled and bowed gratefully. Senior sister, master, thank you so much. Chang Yu smirked. No need to thank us. Maybe I'll move in later. Keep you company? Hanju gulped. Senior sister, are you planning to steal my spiritual energy? Her eye twitched. You only think about cultivation. Get lost. So Hanju holed up in his cave for another 5 years. By then, he'd reached the 3rd level of the Golden Core realm. One day, he scrolled through his friend list. Brother Mo and Zhou Fan had just been added. Alert. Your friends Brother Mo and Zhou Fan were attacked by demon cultivators. Hanju let out a long breath. Good thing I didn't go with him back then. Just then, a system alert popped up. System notification. Innate destiny, individual detected. Hanju's eyes sharpened as he checked the details. Name, Chen Santian. Identity, born as a demon embryo. Current status, core disciple of the Azure Nether Demon Sect. Meanwhile, just outside Hanju's cave mansion, a man in black stood before an inscription carved into stone. A moment of patience brings boundless skies and seas. He scoffed. What a joke! Only cowards write this stuff. Jade Pure Sect really is pathetic. He scanned the surroundings, confused. Big characters like that. In a remote place like this? Could it be a hidden cave mansion? But no door was visible, just an empty cliff face. At that very moment, inside, Hanju clearly heard someone mocking the Jade Pure Sect as cowards. His blood boiled. Veins surfaced on his arms. He quickly confirmed the intruder was alone. All right, you're finished. Chen Santian suddenly froze, sensing a wave of murderous intent sweep over him. Before he could move, 3 streaks of sword energy exploded from the cave, piercing his body like lightning. His body was flung dozens of meters, crashing to the ground like a broken sack. 3 shimmering sword shadows hovered above his head, ready to strike again. Eyes wide in panic, Chen Santian screamed, Elder, wait, please, stop. This is all a misunderstanding. I was just passing through, I swear. But inside, he was in full-blown panic. I did my research. There shouldn't be any sword cultivators this strong in the Jade Pure Sect. Could this guy be their hidden Supreme Elder? Just then, Hanju appeared behind him without a sound. Chen Santian, demon-born, core disciple of the Azure Nether Demon Sect. If I hand you over to the sect, what do you think they'll do to you? Chen Santian's heart nearly stopped. He knows who I am? He turned sharply to plead for his life. But what he saw stunned him. A young man, just at the 9th layer of Foundation establishment. Wait, this can't be him. He must be the disciple of the real elder. Hanju hesitated. Do I kill him now, or use him as leverage? If the sect leader's being taken, he might be my only bargaining chip. But just as he was weighing the options, Chen Santian suddenly lunged behind him, blade to Hanju's throat. Let me go, he yelled toward the cave. Or I'll kill your disciple. Hanju blinked, completely unbothered. First off, I don't even have a disciple. The blade hit the ground with a clang. Chen Santian dropped to his knees, drenched in cold sweat. Elder! I was just kidding, just a joke. Who's gonna believe a 9th layer Foundation cultivator can beat me like this? This guy is definitely some monster hiding his true power, even knows my identity. Escaping's not an option. Hanju stared blankly. A major disciple of the demon sect? That's it? Either this guy's way too weak, or my 3 pure shadow sword is just way too strong. He turned and headed back toward the cave. You, come with me. He planned to hand Chen Santian over to his master, but there was one problem. If he tries to flee, I can't stop him. I only know how to kill, not capture. An idea struck him. You, attack me. Use your full strength. Chen Santian flinched hard. He's asking me to attack him? Is he trying to find a reason to kill me? He shook with fear, practically melting into the ground. "Elder, I was wrong. I really get it now," Chen Santian pleaded, practically sobbing. Hanju replied calmly, "Come on, just try it. That way you won't keep thinking I'm going to ambush you later." Chen Santian looked like he was about to faint. "It's a trap! It has to be a trap!" Hanjusby just stared at him, exasperated. Am I really that terrifying? This so-called top demon disciple is ridiculously spineless. "Fine," Hanju sighed. "From now on you'll stay here, grow spiritual herbs, keep the place clean. You can cultivate too. Just don't cause trouble." A full year passed. Chen Santian observed quietly. Hanju barely moved from his spot. Always cultivating, never leaving the cave. This elder? He's obsessed. He's been in this cave for a year straight. At this rate, my sect's going to think I've defected. My master, the other elders, they must be panicking. He wrestled with the thought. Should I betray him? Just one clean strike and I'm free. He quietly summoned spiritual energy, ready to launch a surprise attack. But before he could act, Hanju turned his head ever so slightly. The entire air around them shifted. Chen Santian panicked. "Ah, sorry, Elder. There was a mosquito. I'll just go clean the cave. Also, sunlight is good for you." The system chimed. "System alert. Chen Santian's hatred toward you has reached." Hanju rubbed his temples. "Really? I've done nothing to him for a whole year, and his hatred somehow skyrocketed. This guy's impossible." Meanwhile, Chen Santian was seething internally. "The moment I get out of here, I'll pay back every miserable day in full." Then suddenly, boom! A hole burst open in his chest, clean and precise. Hanju lowered his hand. "I gave you a chance. You could have stayed useful as a bargaining chip, but you wasted it." He let out a sigh. Ugh, classic novel logic. Kill the underling, the boss shows up. Kill the boss, and the real boss drops in. Sure enough, a sinister black mist slithered out of Chen Santian's corpse. From it, a shadowy figure took form. "You killed my precious disciple," the voice growled. "You will all pay." Hanju narrowed his eyes. "Name yourself." "I am Cao Cao. And you?" "As expected from the Azure Nether Demon Sect," Hanju said. "Zhang Kunmo." The figure glared. "Cao Cao, I'll remember you." "Prepare to die." Then, he vanished into the air like smoke. The system dinged again. "System alert. Zhang Kunmo now harbors full hatred toward you. Hatred level." Hanju's expression tensed. 5 stars? That's bad. He opened the system's relationship panel. Zhang Kunmo, nascent soul realm, level 8. Not yet at spirit transformation. Still within reach, but I should probably call for backup. 8 years later. One quiet morning, someone appeared at the mouth of Hanju's cave mansion. "Is my husband inside?" Hanju's eyes went wide. "Xing Hongshuan? What is she doing here?" He nearly tripped over himself. The formation's just for decoration at this point, isn't it? "Miss Xing? What brings you here?" Without hesitation, she reached into her storage pouch and pulled out several dozen gleaming jade purity pills. "I've saved these for years," she said. "Take them. Use them as you wish." Hanju blinked. His tone softened. "You should keep them. I don't need them anymore." Xing Hongshuan's smile froze. Her eyes dimmed. Her entire mood shifted in a flash. "Could it be? You've already advanced?" Xing Hongshuan asked, her voice trembling slightly. Hanju nodded seriously. "Don't tell anyone about my breakthrough. Keep it to yourself." He then added, "Miss Xing, if you truly wish to be my cultivation partner, you'll need to cultivate hard. One day I may become an immortal, but you, without effort, you'd be nothing but bones by then. Your love would become my burden." The words struck deep. Xing Hongshuan's expression steadied. "You're right. I can't hold you back." She bowed slightly. "My husband, focus on your path. I'll find you elixirs that match your golden core stage." Hanju blinked, baffled. "That's not really what I meant." Meanwhile, deep inside a dark hall of the Azure Nether Demon Sect, 7 elders sat with sect leader Duan Tong Tian, locked in heavy discussion. Their topic: the Jade Pure Sect. Li Qingzi had been their nemesis for decades, and recently he'd vanished from the Jade Pure Sect, drawing their focus elsewhere. One elder suggested, "Why don't we just strike now? Wipe them out directly?" Most of the room immediately nodded in agreement, but Duan Tongtian remained silent. After a long pause, he finally spoke. I'm preparing to undergo spirit transformation. If I succeed, the Jade Pure sect won't stand a chance. His words stunned the room. Sect leader, are you confident? Someone asked. I've spent decades preparing, he replied. I'm 90% there. Just give me 30 more years. The elders erupted in cheers. 10 years later, Hanju sat by the spirit pond inside his cave, having cultivated both his thunder and wind roots to the 9th level of the golden core. He was on the cusp of reaching the nascent soul stage, completely immersed in his progress, unable to pull himself away from the joy of growth. Then, without warning, Chang Yuir appeared beside him. Hanju nearly jumped out of his skin. Senior sister, could you please stop breaking into my cave? I set up the formation myself, you know. She smiled. Exactly. That's why I know how to walk through it. She handed him a small pouch. I brought some heavenly treasures. If you plant them near the pond, the spiritual energy in this place will skyrocket. Could even become the most spiritual cave mansion in the entire Jade Pure sect. Hanju beamed. Thank you, senior sister. Chang Yuer waved him off. No need to thank me. There are rewards from Master. I'm just the delivery girl. Hanju looked upward. Master, you're amazing. The two sat down as Chang Yuer started chatting about life at Jade Seclusion Peak over the past few years. A few new disciples joined, she said. Oh, and Brother Iron, the one ranked right after you, passed away 2 years ago. He died naturally. His cultivation had limits, and time ran out. Hanju paused. Elder Iron is gone. He hadn't liked the man in the past. Iron had always seemed stubborn and annoying, but now, hearing that he was gone, he wanted to see you before he passed, Chang Yuer added. At least that's what his servant said. As for why, we'll never know. Hanju stared at the pond in silence. Back then I couldn't stand him, but now that I think about it, he never really did me any harm. He even looked out for me at times. That resentment had vanished, replaced by something else. Regret, maybe even a touch of sorrow. He looked at Chang Yuir. Senior sister, you have to take care of yourself. If one day you were gone too, I don't know what I'd do. She looked at him, then smiled warmly. Silly junior brother. I always thought you didn't care about me at all, Chang Yuir said softly. After a pause, she stood and brushed off her robe. Anyway, the spiritual herbs are all set. Time for your senior sister to get back to cultivating. She gave a playful smile. I'll work hard to stick around, so I can accompany my dear junior brother further down this long road of cultivation. Though her tone was light, Hanju could feel the sincerity beneath her words. He didn't respond, but after she left, he quietly carved 2 characters onto the wall of his cave. Elder Iron, may you be born into a good family in your next life. Another decade passed. Hanju had now cultivated all of his spiritual roots to the 9th level, except for earth and wood. Then, on his 100th birthday, the system chimed in with a brand new notification. System alert. Congratulations on reaching 100 years of age. Simulation trial function unlocked. New feature. Set the cultivation level and power tier of your opponent. Scan beings within 100 miles to replicate their strength for battle. All simulated combat has 0 effect on your physical or mental state. Hanju lit up with excitement. This is amazing. I've never truly known how strong I am. Now I can finally find out. Without hesitation, he activated the simulation. In an instant, his surroundings vanished. He stood in a vast, open space. The system's voice echoed. Choose an opponent. You may select someone from your known relationships as a model. Hanju didn't hesitate. Li Qingzi. A moment later, a perfect replica of the Jade Pure sect's leader appeared in front of him. Before Hanju could even brace himself, the simulated Li Qingzi launched an attack. Fast and brutal. Hanju quickly activated his 7-fold illusion step to evade, then retaliated with his 3 pure shadow sword technique. But when the dust cleared, Li Qingzi stood unscathed, his body shimmering in golden light. Heavenly strong golden body. A defensive skill so powerful, it completely absorbed the hit. Hanju was stunned. That technique, it's insane. The simulation Li Qingzi struck again. Hanju countered with the 9 Dragons Demon Subduing Seal, a powerful spell that tore through the air. Li Qingzi broke it with a single punch. But Hanju didn't let up. He rotated through 6 different types of spiritual energy, firing one dragon seal after another in rapid succession. Eventually, the barrage knocked Li Qingzi off his feet. Hanju gasped. That seal. It's even more incredible than I thought. I can't beat him, but I can force him back. Right now, I can just about hold my own. Against someone at the 8th level of the nascent soul realm, he muttered. I can repel, but not defeat. Then the system prompt returned. Would you like to adjust the opponent's strength level? Hanju glanced at the available range. This trial just keeps getting better. Elsewhere, at the main hall atop Jade Pure Sect's central peak, the sect's core elders were gathered, every face heavy with unease. Li Qingzi stood before them, his voice solemn. Duan Tongtian has successfully passed his tribulation and reached spirit transformation. He's now solidifying that realm. I've already asked the major righteous factions for help, but none have responded. A brief silence fell over the hall. If only the ancestor were here, Li Qingzi continued. He's at mid-stage spirit transformation. But he's been gone for years, and no one can find him. He looked up at the assembled elders, which means it's up to me and the Supreme Elder to face Duan Tongtian. The elders immediately protested. Brother, don't! There must be another way. But Li Qingzi's expression was firm. There isn't. With your cultivation levels, Li Qingzi said coldly, none of you would make a difference. Not even against Duan Tongtian. He looked around the silent hall. You can't even break through my heavenly strong golden body, and you all know it. He turned to the elders. The Supreme Elder and I will handle this. He paused. The heavenly strong golden body is the Jade Pure Sect's most powerful technique. I can only hope it's enough to withstand the coming battle. Elsewhere, Han Jue continued grinding through simulation trials. He'd finally managed to crack through Li Qingzi's heavenly strong golden body at the 5th level of the nascent soul realm. But from the outside, he just looked like he was napping. Another 10 years passed. Han Ju had now cultivated every spiritual root to the 9th level of the golden core, achieving full perfection. Today, he was ready. His long-awaited breakthrough to the nascent soul realm was finally here. Just as Han Ju entered his tribulation crossing, Chang Yuye came sprinting toward his cave, panic written all over her face. The Azure Nether Demon sect was about to invade. She had rushed over to warn him, intending to take him to the inner sect where it would be safer. But the moment she saw him from a distance, she froze. Han Ju was already mid-tribulation. Chang Yuye mistook it for a breakthrough to the Golden Core stage. If the demon sect attacks from this direction, his tribulation could be interrupted. That's taboo. Interference could cripple him, or worse. No, I have to guard him. Even if I'm not strong enough, I'll hold on until he's done. She looked at the flickering lightning clouds forming above his cave. Who told me to fall for you? I'll protect you. Just this once. 10 days later, the demonic army made their move, but their attack came from a different direction, completely avoiding Han Ju's cave dwelling. Chang Yuer realized the truth. If I'd pulled him away to the inner sect, it might have ruined everything. She turned toward the distant battlefield. This is better. As long as he stays in that cave, he'll be fine. She clenched her fists, took one last look at the mountain behind her, and whispered, I'm sorry. I have to go. Master needs me. I swore to fight by her side, life or death. Junior brother, don't come back. Time passed. The final thunderbolt faded. Hanju stepped out from the storm. He had successfully entered the nascent soul realm. Everything had changed. Even the 6 realms of reincarnation technique had evolved. His 6 spiritual roots had fused, forming a unified, powerful new energy. 6 paths spiritual power, capable of drawing energy directly from the heavens and earth. No more dependence on individual roots. Cultivating was now faster, cleaner, stronger. Then, a system alert chimed in. System alert. Congratulations. You've reached the nascent soul realm. Reward, 1 divine ability. That wasn't even the best part. Your lifespan has increased to 998 years. Another message appeared. Because you've chosen the path of the Sword Cultivator, you've received the Sword Deo divine ability, heaven-punishing demon god sword. Han Ju's heart surged. But the celebration was short-lived. Another system alert came through. Emergency alert. Your sect, the Jade Pure Sect, is currently under siege by the Azure Nether Demon sect. Detected. Duan Tongtian. Spirit Transformation Realm, Level 1. Would you like to begin a simulation trial now? Hanju's first instinct was to decline. But then, he took a breath, calming himself. Let's see what I'm really capable of. I could take down nascent soul cultivators even when I was still in the Golden Core realm. Now, I should be strong enough to stand against spirit transformation cultivators. With that thought, Hanju activated the simulation trial once more. At the same time, atop the Jade Pure Sect's main peak, a voice roared out across the mountains. "C.A.O. C.A.O. Jan Kunmo of the demonic sect bellowed. "Come out and face your death." He sneered as silence answered him. "No response? Already tucked your tail and fled?" He laughed, eyes full of venom. "As expected. Trash. The whole Jade Pure Sect is nothing but trash." He turned to the demonic army behind him. "Listen well. Burn it all. Kill them all. Loot everything. If Cao Cao won't crawl out to die, then let's offer the lives of these disciples as a tribute to my fallen disciple." Meanwhile, only 1 minute had passed inside the simulation trial. Hanju emerged from the simulation, stunned. That's it? That was Duan Tongtian? Back at the main peak, things were dire. Li Qingzi and the Supreme Elder stood bloodied and battered. They had pushed themselves far beyond their limits, but Duan Tongtian's power was overwhelming. Still, they refused to yield. Duan Tongtian floated in the air, laughing wildly. "Kneel and beg, and maybe I'll let you die with your body intact." Li Qingzi gritted his teeth, glaring at him. "We of the Jade Pure Sect would rather die than bow to the demon path." With a final burst of spirit power, he lunged forward, only to be sent flying like a rag doll, crashing to the ground. The Supreme Elder shook his head bitterly. "It's useless. That black skull behind him, it's an innate black magnet. It drains and neutralizes our spirit energy. We're being worn down with no way to fight back." Nearby, Zixuan Fairy stood among the rubble, watching everything crumble. So, this is the end of the Jade Pure Sect after all. Her thoughts drifted to Hanju. That brat's probably still in secluded cultivation. I hope no one finds his cave. And Changi, forgive me, I failed you. As your master, I couldn't protect you. I'll go ahead of you. Not far from the battlefield, Cheng Yuye stood cornered by a group of demonic cultivators. Her strength was nearly gone. Her spiritual energy was depleted. Her sword wouldn't even lift. Faced with no way out, she turned to the edge of the cliff. "I won't let them take me." She leapt. Her body tumbled downward, weak, powerless. Eyes shut tight. One thought lingered in her mind. "If I'd cultivated as hard as him, I wouldn't be here. I wonder if I'll see him again in the next life." Then, suddenly, a voice. Familiar, steady. Her eyes flew open. There he was, Hanju, holding her gently in midair. Behind them, the demonic cultivators who had cornered her were nothing but shredded limbs and red mist. Mo Fusho blinked in disbelief. "Are we dead? Is this the afterlife?" Hanju said nothing. He caught sight of Mu Fuchu nearby, handed Cheng Yuer off to him, and shot back into the sky. On the way to the main peak, Hanju passed a group of demonic cultivators ambushing Mu Fuchu. In an instant, 3 golden core cultivators were cut down without a sound. Hanju didn't stop. He could feel the heavy pressure coming from the peak. "Li Qingzi, hold on, I'm almost there." Then another signature. Chang Yuer and the others, completely surrounded. They were bracing for a final stand, until 3 blinding streaks of light sliced through the air. The next second, the demonic cultivators fell apart, split cleanly in 2 like fruit under a blade. Chang Yuer and the others stood frozen in shock. Hanju didn't even pause. He was already gone, streaking toward the peak. Meanwhile, deep in a forest clearing, a one-eyed cultivator loomed over Xing Hongshuan. "You don't have a choice," he sneered. "Become my cultivation partner." "Come back with me to the Azure Nether Demon Sect," the one-eyed man growled. "I'll spare your life." But Xing Hongshuan's eyes blazed. "Pa, Duan Tongtian killed my parents. I'd rather die than return to that place." Just as the man prepared to strike, her face suddenly lit up. My husband!" she cried out in joy. The one-eyed man smirked, mistaking her reaction. "Oh, you've finally come to your senses?" "Huh, I knew a little pressure would break you. Good girl, obedient after all." But in the very next instant, a red flash blinked behind him. Hanju appeared like a shadow of death. With a single move, he ended the second disciple of the demonic sect. Clean, silent, final. He turned to Xing Hongshuan. "Go, find a safe place and stay hidden." Then he was gone again, streaking toward the main peak like a meteor. Just then, the system chimed in. Xing Hongshuan's favorability has increased to. Hanjue gave a wry grin. "My damn charm and strength." Meanwhile, atop the main peak, Li Qingzi, the Supreme Elder, and Zixuan Fairy were all gravely wounded. They could barely stand. At the center of the battlefield, Duan Tongtian stood tall and untouched, a dark figure wreathed in power. In a blur, he appeared in front of Zixuan Fairy, sneering down at her. "This is it. This is all the mighty Jade Pure sect has left?" He chuckled darkly. "All we ever did back then was kill a few people to refine goo, yet we were hunted for 100 years. Now I've stepped into the spirit transformation realm. Who dares stop us?" He spread his arms wide. "With the lives of your sect, we'll strengthen our own. Soon, the #1 sect in the Great Swallow Dynasty will be ours." He turned to Zixuan Fairy, eyes gleaming with malice. "You still won't surrender? Guess how many of your people are left alive." He raised his hand for the finishing blow. But just then, a gust of energy tore through the air. Hanju landed beside Zixuan Fairy in time, pulling her away from the strike. It was the first time he'd seen his master in such a broken, bloodied state. "Master, are you okay?" he asked, voice steady but strained. Zixuan Fairy stared at him, wide-eyed. "Anju!" Then, bam! She punched him straight in the face. "What are you doing here? Are you crazy? Run!" Her voice trembled. "Listen to me. Get out of here, now! From this moment on, you're no longer a disciple of the Jade Pure sect." Up above, Duan Tongtian's smile twisted. "How bold!" he spat. "Kid, you've got a death wish. Kneel, kowtow 3 times, and I might let you live. I might even let you join the Azure Nether Demon sect." At that moment, Hanju's system pinged with 2 new choices. But he didn't even glance at them. He'd made up his mind long before this. He stepped forward, eyes blazing. Even a survivor cultivator has something worth fighting for. Suddenly, another voice cut in. "Kowtow, so you're here!" Zhang Kunmo erupted into view, barreling straight for Hanjue. Duan Tongtian laughed wickedly. "Looks like I won't even need to lift a finger. With Elder Zhang's strength, he'll crush you all by himself." But before he could finish his sentence, boom! Zhang Kunmo was launched across the battlefield like a comet, smashing into the mountain with a thunderous crash. Everyone watching stood frozen in shock. Hanju turned to Duan Tongtian with a calm smile. "You ready? Because it's time for you to die." Nearby, a bloody Zhang Kunmo dragged himself from the crater, eyes blazing with rage. "Cow, cow! I'll tear you apart! Abyssal Demon Lamb, your souls will pay tribute to my disciple, Jin Santian." "Disciple," Zhang Kunmo growled, blood running from his lips. "Do you see? I'm avenging you!" He summoned his most powerful artifact and hurled himself at Hanju in a frenzy. But Hanju didn't flinch. He calmly lifted his left hand and extended a single finger. 3 pure shadows release. In a flash, the once feared elder of the Azure Nether Demon sect had his head obliterated, blown apart by that single strike. Gasps echoed across the battlefield. Everyone froze. Duan Tongtian, still floating above, cracked a mocking smile. "So young, and already capable of killing one of my elders with a sword technique. Why not join us? Wealth, cultivation partners, forbidden techniques, territory, name it. I'll give you everything." But before he could finish, 3 sword shadows were already streaking toward him. A crimson shield flared to life in front of him, just in time, blocking the attack completely. Hanju narrowed his eyes. He blocked my 3 pure shadows? Duan Tongtian sneered. Behind me is the innate black magnet, a divine artifact. It absorbs spiritual power. Your attacks? Worthless, unless your energy surpasses mine. You had your chance. You should have taken it. He hovered higher, power surging around him like a hurricane. Geniuses like you die every day, only the ones who survive get remembered. And you won't survive. Suddenly, he unleashed the full might of the spirit transformation realm. The pressure blanketed the entire Jade Pure sect. Across the mountains, disciples froze mid-battle, looking in horror toward the main peak. Duan Tongtian's voice echoed through the sky. I'll slaughter every last one of you while this brat watches, helpless. I want to see how he protects his sect. Hanju drew his sword. Are you done monologuing? His voice was calm, too calm. Any last words? Duan Tongtian burst into laughter. Last words? Please, keep them for your tombstone. But the laughter stopped. Instantly, Hanjue activated his divine ability. Heaven-punishing demon godsword. Time seemed to still. Duan Tongtian's body locked up. He couldn't move, not even an inch. He looked down in disbelief as the swordlight surged toward him. And then, he was gone. Vaporized, burned away by divine sword energy, his body dissolved into nothing. Only silence remained. The entire battlefield stood frozen. Someone muttered. He just killed a spirit transformation cultivator. With a nascent soul body. Insane. But Hanju wasn't celebrating. He sensed it. Duan Tongtian's primordial spirit had escaped. Can't leave that behind. He took off instantly in pursuit. Amid a pile of shattered stone and ash, Duan Tongtian's disembodied spirit hovered, shaking uncontrollably. I got away. I survived. Who is that monster? A voice whispered behind him. Kowtow? Duan Tongtian's entire spirit convulsed in terror. Hanjue was already standing there, cold and unmoving. This ends now. The 100-year feud between our sects ends today. He lifted his left hand. 6 paths soul absorption. Activate. Duan Tongtian's spirit began to distort, shrieking in agony. You think this is the end? I'll curse you as a ghost! The monster-taming demon sect won't forgive this. But after a few screams, his spirit was absorbed and destroyed. Gone. Hanju stood silent. Monster-taming demon sect? He blinked. What the heck is that? 2 system prompts followed. System notification. Spirit transformation cultivator defeated. Reward, spirit-controlling alchemy obtained. New hatred detected. Zhao has developed intense animosity toward you. Hatred level. Hanju blinked. Who the hell is Xiao? He quickly pulled up the relationship list. Xiao. Cultivation Fusion Void Realm, Level 2. Hanju went still. Of course. I knew an even older monster would pop up eventually. Just then, the battlefield shifted again. The innate black magnet left behind by Duan Tongtian began to pulse with strange energy. Dark smoke poured from it, twisting into the air. And out of that smoke, a figure emerged. Fellow cultivator, the figure said calmly, that divine ability of yours, spectacular. To witness a nascent soul slaying a spirit transformation cultivator, my horizons have been expanded. Hanju's sword hand twitched, ready to strike. But the figure raised a hand lazily. Don't bother, it's useless. I am a fusion void realm cultivator. Techniques like yours can't harm souls like mine. He smiled. If that fool Duan Tongtian had bought me a little more time, I wouldn't be in this half-recovered state. At those words, Master Jingshu's eyes widened in alarm. Fusion void? Who are you? I am Xiao, elder of the monster-taming demon sect, from the northern province. Our sect has been laying plans for years, but we didn't expect someone like you to throw off the script. He glanced at Hanju. I'll remember this debt. Hanju's eyes narrowed. So Duan Tongtian was just a decoy? He was stalling for you? Naturally, Xiao replied. That failure bragged that no one in your sect could touch him, and with that confidence, he gave me my window. Then he stopped mid-sentence. Wait, you little brat, were you trying to extract information from me? His gaze sharpened. And your primordial spirit, it's different. Damaged body? Maybe even destroyed? He scoffed. Doesn't matter, you're not worthy to know. I just don't bother bullying juniors. With a dismissive wave, he added, I've already sent word back to the monster-taming demon sect. Enjoy what little time you have left. And then he vanished. Only now did Li Qingzi fully understand. No wonder the Azure Nether Demon Sect tried to claim the 10,000 demon realm. This was never their plan. It was orchestrated from behind by the monster-taming demon sect. He turned to Hanju. Our top priority now is wiping out the demon cultivators that are still within the sect. Hanju, I'll need your... He paused. Hanju had already walked right past him, completely ignoring him, to kneel beside Zixuan Fairy, gently helping her recover. Li Qingzi stared, baffled. Her injuries aren't that bad, you know. He coughed and tried again. Hanju, help us eliminate the remaining demonic sect disciples. Nope, Hanju replied instantly, not even looking his way. My master comes first. You want a clean house? Do it yourself. And let's be real, if I single-handedly wipe out a whole demonic sect, wouldn't that make me too famous? Not interested in the spotlight. From the side, Zixuan Fairy's lips curled slightly into a faint smile. All around, the other elders glanced at her, eyes filled with envy. Then Elder Taoist stepped forward, unable to resist, asking, Fellow Taoist, what is your background? With strength like yours, there's no way you were cultivated by our Jade Pure Sect alone. Hanju gave a mild shrug. A chance encounter doesn't mean we've met before. You only need to know one thing. I'm a disciple of the Jade Pure Sect now, and I will never harm the Jade Pure Sect. As they spoke, surviving demonic sect elders finally arrived, looking around, confused. They couldn't find Duan Tongtian anywhere. All they found was young Kunmo's lifeless body. Then, boom! Li Qingzi poured his remaining spirit energy into one final transmission, his voice booming across the entire sect. Duan Tongtian is dead. Disciples of the Jade Pure Sect, hear me. Wipe out every last demonic cultivator within our walls. The enemy disciples froze. And in the next breath, panic. The demonic cultivators panicked and scattered like leaves in the wind. Seizing the momentum, the disciples of the Jade Pure Sect surged forward, hunting them down like wild dogs. Relief washed over everyone as they watched the enemy crumble. Li Qingzi turned to Hanju, eyes burning with admiration. Everyone here saw Hanju's power today. Based on his performance, I propose we make him the new vice-sect leader of the Jade Pure Sect. My own cultivation has reached its limit, and it's time the younger generation steps up. Hanju is more than capable. Any objections? Before anyone could respond, a calm voice cut through the air. I object. All heads turned. It was Hanju himself. I just want to focus on cultivating. Being a vice-sect leader sounds like endless trouble. Where would I even find time to train? Li Qingzi looked torn, but before the silence dragged on, the Supreme Elder spoke up. Then let him serve as a nominal elder. He'll receive the same benefits as the sect leader, but unless the sect faces a crisis, no one is allowed to disturb him. Hanju nodded immediately. Now that's more like it. Someone nearby asked, That enemy earlier, wasn't he in the fusion void realm? Another replied, quote, You're right. He only has his primordial spirit left. Most likely, Duan Tongtian promised to help him reconstruct his physical body in return for a breakthrough. The delay? Probably some dark method to siphon off our sect's energy and life force. Besides, someone else added, the northern province is practically another world. Even if he comes, the righteous sects won't just sit by. Still, Hanju didn't feel entirely at ease. Better I return to secluded cultivation. I need to break past the fusion void realm. With the battle between the Jade Pure Sect and the Azure Nether Demon Sect now over, whispers began to spread across the sect. rumors of a hidden powerhouse. Did you hear? The god-slaying elder saved us in our darkest hour. One sword strike, and he took down a spirit transformation cultivator. It didn't take long before the tales gave birth to a flood of fans. We actually had someone that strong in our sect all along? From now on, the god-slaying elder is my idol. Is there a fan group for him? Count me in. I heard he's insanely good-looking too. Once the crowd dispersed, Zixuan Fairy stopped Hanju. She stayed quiet for a moment before finally speaking. Don't you have something to say? Hanju blinked. Say what? Tell me who you really are, she said softly. What are you doing in the Jade Pure sect? Li Qingzi may not press you, but I'm your master. I have to know. No wonder you've never needed my guidance. Should I be calling you fellow Taoist Han instead? Hanju paused. You should already have an idea. Brother Iron told you, didn't he? Don't you believe in my talent? Zixuan Fairy narrowed her eyes. Even if your talent is real, where did you learn those techniques? That's when it hit Hanju. Techniques powerful enough to let a nascent soul cultivator slay someone in the spirit transformation realm. This story was just too ridiculous. No one would ever believe it. And Hanju knew it. He'd always kept a low profile, yet somehow managed to gather the best resources. Anyone with half a brain would suspect something. Still, he needed a cover, and fast. So he made something up. There was once a kid who lived carefree, loved beast milk more than anything, and didn't have a worry in the world. One day he stumbled across a scorched old willow tree that had been struck by lightning. Underneath it, a ring. He picked it up, planning to turn it in. But the moment his hand touched it, an immortal spirit appeared. Your bones are extraordinary. You must be a natural-born genius. This is fate, the spirit said, then handed him a yellow rank technique. From then on, the immortal would appear in his dreams, teaching him techniques, claiming he was destined to become a celestial being. Because of that, he kept to himself, trained in silence, and avoided unnecessary trouble. As Hanju spun the tale, he couldn't help thinking, this is getting more and more absurd. There's no way she'll buy it. But to his shock, Zixuan Fairy actually nodded. So that's what happened. Stories like that do exist. Then she looked at him seriously. If that's true, why reveal yourself back there? The Jade Pure sect hasn't exactly treated you like family. I doubt you even consider this place your home. Hanju sighed. I've lived over 100 years. There aren't many I care about anymore. But, by coincidence, the few people I do care for are all in this sect. One of them was willing to live and die with the Jade Pure sect. Ding! System notification. Favorability from Zixuan Fairy has increased to 3.5 stars. Even she seemed slightly moved by his words. But quickly she shifted the topic. So what now? Back into seclusion? Yeah, who knows when that fusion void realm demon might show up again. I have to get stronger. Fast. She gave a quiet nod and let him go. Back in his cave dwelling, Hanju reflected on the sudden shift in how the elders treated him. The difference was night and day. Is this what it feels like to show off? Not bad at all. Guess power really does make all the difference. He'd made the right choice, devoting himself to cultivation. Just then, Chang Yuer arrived, her arms full of glowing spiritual herbs and rare materials. Junior brother! The sect gathered a bunch of treasures to help boost the energy in your cave. I came to help set everything up. We'll also need to activate a spirit gathering array. Hanju gave a genuine nod. Thanks, senior sister. I really appreciate it. She smiled. Are you kidding? You're the god-slaying elder now. Should I still be calling you junior brother? Ding! System notification. Favorability from Chang Yuer has reached 5.5 stars. The next moment, Hanzhou suddenly pressed her up against the wall. As long as you keep cultivating seriously and don't slack off, you'll always be my senior sister. Her face instantly turned crimson. I am cultivating, but there's no way I can catch up to you. Hanju leaned in and whispered, Senior sister, I have a request. Without missing a beat, she nodded. Whatever it is, just say the word. Tell me, I'll fulfill it. Hanju flashed a sly grin. Could you set up another formation around my cave, one that's fireproof, theft-proof, and most importantly, senior sister-proof? Much appreciated. Over the next 3 years, the Jade Pure sect launched a relentless campaign against the remnants of the Azure Nether Demon sect, wiping out a century's worth of troublemakers once and for all. The entire cultivation world of Great Swallow was left in awe. and the title, God-Slaying Elder, echoed far and wide. Meanwhile, Hanju quietly reached the second level of the nascent soul realm. Ding! System notification, hidden achievement completed. Duan Tongtian's death and the eradication of the Azure Nether Demon sect have triggered an extra reward. In addition to the original spirit-controlling alchemy, he now received a magical treasure, Demon Binding Rope, and a powerful spell manual, Myriad Thunderstorm. Then one day, thick thunderclouds rolled in over the Jade Pure Sect's inner peaks. The sky darkened as terrifying heavenly pressure loomed across all 18 summits. The chilling aura made even seasoned cultivators uneasy. The elders immediately assumed the worst. Another attack. Weapons were drawn, formations activated. But the Supreme Elder simply stared into the clouds, golden light flickering in his pupils. "No need to panic," he said calmly. "I checked with the observation technique. The source is Hanju." Everyone froze for a second. Then, "Oh, in that case, nothing to worry about. Back to your residences, everyone." At the center of the disturbance, Hanju stood surrounded by crackling energy, practicing his new spell, Myriad Thunderstorm. With it, he could summon nature's fury itself, channeling the spiritual energy of heaven and earth into an overwhelming downpour of destruction. Feeling the raw power, Hanju couldn't help but smile. Finally, a large-scale spell worthy of its name. Just then, Li Qingzi came to visit, smiling with purpose. "Elder Han, if there's anything you need, say the word. I've already told the other elders, your small matters are big matters to the Jade Pure Sect." He looked around at the modest surroundings and continued, "This place does seem a bit cramped. Why not move to the main peak? Plenty of space, very comfortable." But Hanju caught the glint in his eyes. No way he was falling for that. "Not interested," Hanju said flatly. Li Qingzi didn't press. "All right, then we'll pour our best resources into upgrading this cave dwelling for you." Then he got to the real reason for the visit. "I'd like to ask if you'd be willing to take on a disciple." Hanju blinked, caught off guard. "This one's got incredible potential," Li Qingzi added. "You wouldn't need to do much. Just guide him now and then." He motioned toward the entrance, and a young man stepped in. Ding! System notification, innate destiny individual detected. Details appeared before Hanju's eyes. Name, Yang Tiandong. Bloodline, demonic sage. Origin, half-human, half-demon. Innate talent, off the charts. Background, lost control as a child, turned demonic, hurt his peers. Captured by the Azure Nether Demon sect, later rescued by the Jade Pure sect. Hanju raised an eyebrow. Another protagonist archetype? Still, he gave a reluctant nod. "I'll take him. But I have one condition. He must be allowed to pick any cultivation technique he wants from the sect's collection. I'll only be responsible for teaching him spells and divine arts." Li Qingzi agreed without hesitation, then pulled out a large box and placed it before Hanju. "These are identity tokens for the God-Slaying Elder. You can pass them on to your future disciples." Hanju stared at the box, speechless. Is he expecting me to build a whole army of disciples now? Before he could say a word, Li Qingzi vanished like smoke in the wind. Hanju turned to Yang Tiandong. "I've already looked into your background. Yang Tiandong, half-human, half-demon, once imprisoned by the Azure Nether Demon sect, right?" Yang Tiandong's eyes widened in disbelief. He'd been specifically told by Li Qingzi not to share his past, but his new master had figured it all out in an instant. "You even knew that?" he said, full of awe. "I truly admire you, master." Ding! System notification. Yang Tiandong's favorability has increased to 3 stars. Hanju smirked to himself. With this system, what can't I find out? He handed Yang Tiandong one of the tokens. "Here, take this. Keep it safe. Find a quiet spot and focus on your cultivation." But before he could walk off, Yang Tiandong spoke up again. "Master, I have a request. My father left behind a secret technique, but it can only be cultivated once someone reaches the spirit transformation realm. I don't have the talent to master it on my own. Please, teach me." He pulled out a crimson feather and offered it with both hands. The moment Hanju touched it, his eyes sharpened. This. The feather blocked his spiritual sense entirely. Whatever technique it contained, Accessing it clearly required spirit transformation level power. Hanju waved his hand. I'll take a look first. The cultivation path is tough, no shortcuts. Train your spiritual power for 10 years, and then I'll teach you spells. Yang Tiandong nodded respectfully. Thank you, Master. Wait, 10 years? Nothing. I'll start right away. Time flashed by. 10 years later, Hanju emerged from seclusion, now at the 4th level of the nascent soul realm. He opened his eyes, only to find Yang Tiandong staring at him like he was owed a lifetime of sleep. Master, you're finally awake. I've been sitting here for 10 years. I'm about to grow feathers myself. Hanju scratched his head, a little embarrassed. Still, looking at his disciple, who had gone from Foundation Establishment Level 1 to Level 6 in just a decade, he had to admit the kid wasn't half bad. How do you feel after 10 years of training? Yang Tiandong stood straight. Master, I've learned a great deal through hardship. I've even gained insights into the deeper truths of cultivation. Hanju narrowed his eyes. He's bluffing. I've cultivated for years and haven't gained any profound truths. With a lazy stretch, he changed the subject. In that case, it's time for you to get out there. Go take on some missions. Yang Tiandong's eyes lit up. Really? I can leave now? That's amazing. What mission? There's a monthly contribution leaderboard at the mission tower. Don't come back until you're ranked first. The excitement on Yang Tiandong's face vanished like a popped bubble. First? On the monthly board? Who knows how long that'll take? Before he could protest, Hanju gave him a solid kick, right out of the cave. Peace at last. Now alone again, Hanju pulled out the red feather, ready to uncover its secrets. Hanju decided it was time to unlock the secrets hidden within the red feather. He pulled out the spirit-controlling alchemy he'd earned earlier, perfect for boosting spiritual sense, and swallowed it in one go. The effect was instant. His spiritual sense surged, growing over 10-fold in strength. He projected it into the feather once more. As expected, the barrier was still there, but this time his spiritual sense smashed through it within seconds. A flood of golden symbols exploded from the feather and engulfed him completely. Meanwhile, at the base of Jade Pure Sect Mountain, Fusha was leading a group of children up the trail, his new duty as a disciple recruiter. Watching them brought back memories of his own early days at the sect, and he couldn't help but smile. That peace didn't last. A sharp whooshing sound tore through the air. A bamboo arrow flew from the shadows toward him. Fusho dodged instinctively, but the arrow exploded nearby, releasing a thick, toxic fog. Everyone, back! It's an ambush! A figure cloaked in a straw raincoat burst from the mist, dual blades flashing as he attacked. Fushu barely parried, forcing the assailant back. But before he could recover, another enemy struck from behind, a spear plunging into his shoulder. Seeing their protector wounded, the group panicked. One of the attackers growled, "On your knees, all of you! We only want Fushu, get in the way, and none of you will leave here alive." Bleeding and cornered, Fushu held his ground. "Who are you?" "Heavenly stars and earthly fiends," the man replied. "That's all you need to know. But mark this, a great calamity is coming for the Jade Pure Sect." Then, the ground rumbled. A towering figure appeared, its upper body rising above the clouds like a mountain. It was Hanju. He had used the divine technique from the feather as heaven and earth, forging a colossal form from pure vital energy. Once perfected, it could reach heights of tens of thousands of meters. "You dare threaten disciples of the Jade Pure Sect right at our gate?" The two attackers froze in terror at the sight of the massive Hanju. This technique's perfect for flexing, Hanju thought smugly. Not just flashy. It packs serious power, too. He charged at them, his enormous form causing the air itself to quake. The attackers panicked, dragging Fushu as a human shield. Hanju didn't slow down. His massive fist came crashing down without hesitation. Members of the Jade Pure Sect nearby screamed, "He's gonna flatten us, we're on the same side!" But just before impact, the giant fist vanished. In that same instant, a flicker of motion flashed past Fushu. 2 agonized screams followed. When he turned around, the 2 enemies were gone, vanished without a trace. The crowd stood there, stunned. Fuchavo understood exactly what had happened. Only one person could take down 2 golden core-level attackers in the blink of an eye. Snapping back to reality, he yelled at the gaping disciples, What are you staring at? Heal me already. Meanwhile, back at the main hall of the Jade Pure Sect's main peak, the door suddenly burst open with a loud bang. Li Qingzi jumped in panic, scrambling to destroy a few documents in a panic. 2 unconscious bodies in straw raincoats were tossed onto the floor. These 2 tried to kidnap Fuchu, Hanju said coldly. They're yours to deal with. Li Qingzi looked at the straw hats and the twin blades in horror. Li Qingzi's face drained of color. A straw raincoat, dual blades sharp enough to kill righteous path immortals. Right then, the Supreme Elder appeared beside him. If I'm not mistaken, he said, these 2 are from the Raincoat Holy Church. His voice dropped lower. 1,000 years ago, the Raincoat Holy Church ruled over the entire Great Swallow cultivation world. It took a united front from the righteous path to drive them underground after they began targeting and eliminating young prodigies from every major sect. Now, they're back, and they've been snatching talented disciples across the realm. Li Qingzi clenched his fists. They seem to know everything about us. Our disciples, their talents, their whereabouts. This goes deeper than we thought. There must be a traitor, either in the Morning Sun Pavilion or higher up in our own ranks. Let's not jump to conclusions just yet, the Supreme Elder warned. They've been dormant for a millennium. If they're making a move now, they must have a major plan in motion. Hanju suddenly asked, how strong are they? Are we talking spirit transformation level? Or worse, fusion void? There's no doubt they have cultivators at the spirit transformation realm, the Elder replied. But whether they have fusion void level experts, we don't know. Hanju's first thought? Time to pack up and run. But before he could act on it, the Supreme Elder turned to him. Elder Han, there's no time to waste. Li Qingzi and I must visit the other sects immediately and unite the righteous factions. While we're gone, the safety of the Jade Pure Sect falls to you. Ding! System notification. Choice triggered. Refuse and leave the sect. Reward, youth-preserving alchemy. Accept and guard the sect until the sect leader returns. Reward, spell manual, plus spirit transformation realm, cultivation, elixir. Hanju didn't hesitate. As long as I don't have to leave the mountain, I'll agree to anything. He chose the second option immediately. When the 2 elders saw him agree, they were visibly relieved. 6 years passed in the blink of an eye. Hanju advanced again, now at the 5th level of nascent soul. His lifespan stretched to 1,080 years. Only then did he think of something. Wait, where's my disciple? He hadn't heard from Yang Tiandong in years. Was that first place task a little too much? Curious, Hanju checked the sect's social updates. Almost every headline was about recent attacks by the Raincoat Holy Church. Then he saw it. Young Tiandong has been captured. No wonder he disappeared. That idiot actually got himself caught. Now, as a responsible master, he considered going after him, then quickly shook his head. Nope, definitely a trap. Sorry, disciple. Your master is many things, but reckless isn't one of them. Best of luck in your next life. Still, if he wasn't going out, he figured he could at least do something meaningful for the sect, justify their trust and resources. Then he remembered something. Li Qingzi had suspected a spy among the elders. Could someone from the Raincoat Holy Church really be inside the Jade Pure Sect? Just as the thought crossed his mind, the system popped up again. A red warning flashed in his character relationship list. Hanju looked up. Taoist. So he's the mole, a steward of the Raincoat Holy Church, hidden right within their walls, already at the 7th level of nascent soul. And he'd managed to stay under the radar all this time. No wonder that day, after I saved the sect, he was the only elder who never warmed up to me. At first, Hanju thought Taoist was just distant by nature. Turns out he was hiding something far worse. With both the sect leader and the Supreme Elder away, there was only one person Hanju could still fully trust, his master. Without delay, he made his way to Zixuan Ferry. I've found a spy from the Raincoat Holy Church hiding among the elders. What should we do? She looked him dead in the eye and asked one thing. Who? Taoist. From Thunder Peak, Hanju answered, wondering how to convince her. But before he could say more, she gave a flat response. Kill him. Hanju blinked. Wait, no hesitation? Not even asking for proof? They must have history. Zixuan Ferry added calmly. I've had my suspicions for a while. If even you're saying it, that's all the confirmation I need. No need to alert the other elders. Let's head to Thunder Peak. Moments later, the two arrived. Taoist was just stepping out to greet them when a sword, 3 pure shadows, shot forward, piercing his chest and slamming him against the main hall's stone wall. His face went pale. What are you doing? Hanju stepped forward, voice cold. You've been exposed. As a steward of the Raincoat Holy Church, your betrayal is tied to the disappearance of countless disciples. Today, I'm ending this for the Jade Pure Sect. Panic surged through Taoist. In a flash, he self-destructed his body, turning into raw lightning to escape. But Hanju calmly lifted one hand. Myriad thunderstorm. A barrage of lightning bolts lit up the hall, crackling and roaring like the wrath of the heavens. When the smoke cleared, only Taoist's primordial spirit remained, his physical form reduced to ash. He begged desperately, Elder Han, spare me, I'll tell you everything. I surrender. Hanju didn't flinch. One palm strike, 9 dragons' demon-subduing seal, and Taoist was no more. Zixuan Fairy handled the aftermath. As Thunder Peak's disciples rushed over, she met them with a calm gaze. After a thorough investigation by the God-slaying elder, Taoist was confirmed to be a secret steward for the Raincoat Holy Church. He's been executed. The disciples were stunned. Most couldn't believe it. Soon, word reached the other elders. Taoist? A traitor. But he's served the sect loyally for years. Where's the proof? Zixuan Fairy answered with Taoist's storage ring. Inside it, letters and contact logs with the Raincoat Holy Church. The evidence was overwhelming. Shock turned into silence. And once again, everyone found themselves in awe and fear of Hanju's power. Elsewhere, Hanju was stretched out on the branch of a giant tree, scanning through his relationship list. Good. Only Taoist among the elders was a confirmed spy, but at the steward level, his brow furrowed. It's not just the Raincoat Holy Church. There are spies from righteous sects, demonic sects, even ancient cultivation clans. This sect's leaking like a sieve. He sighed. Better memorize the names for now. Can't afford to spook them. I'll deal with each in time. Then the system chimed in. Ding! Innate destiny individual detected. Hanju's eyes widened as the details appeared. This guy's bloodline makes my own disciple look like a joke. Do people like this actually exist? Still stunned, Hanju headed toward an old man standing nearby. An old man pulling a wooden cart blocked Hanju's path. Hey, old man, Hanju called out casually. Mind giving me one of those chicks? The old man shook his head. Sorry, these are being delivered to the inner sect. Hanju held up his token. It's fine. I'm the god-slaying elder of the Jade Pure Sect. If anyone asks, just say I took one of your chicks. The old man's eyes widened, then quickly nodded and stepped aside, letting Hanju choose. As soon as Hanju opened the cage, one particular chicken caught his eye, a tiny black fluff ball standing out from the rest. This wasn't an ordinary chicken. It was the Dark Prison Chicken, an innate destiny individual, none other than the reincarnation of a demonic saint from the upper realms. Once known as the Dark Prison Phoenix, it had slaughtered countless beings and dared to defy the heavens. In the end, the celestial court executed it, and its soul was cast into reincarnation. Now reborn in the mortal realm, its powerful soul would eventually reshape its body, returning it to its original phoenix form. For now, though, it looked like an ordinary chicken, albeit one with the intelligence of a 2-year-old. Hanju's eyes gleamed. This one. I'm taking it. Later, when the sect leader and supreme elder finally returned, Zixuan Fairy greeted them with a smile. Master, senior brother, you finally come back. You both seem to be in high spirits. Was the trip smooth? The 2 elders mistook her words for genuine concern and felt quite pleased. Then she dropped the news. Oh, by the way, while you were gone, Taoist turned out to be a traitor. He's been executed. Their expressions changed instantly. Executed? Why didn't you keep the body? I wanted to beat it. Despite their fury, the mission had been a success. And with their return, Hanju received a new set of system rewards. Wind God Technique, a wind-based spell that allowed him to ride air currents and even turn his body into wind itself. 12 spirit concentration pills, rare elixirs specially refined for the spirit transformation realm. Back in his cave, Hanju was hard at work, training the little black chicken. It took countless attempts just to teach it how to absorb spiritual energy to ease its hunger. Thankfully, it finally got the hang of it. If not, it would have gobbled up all the spiritual herbs and treasures in the cave by now. Sing Hongshuan dropped by with a cheerful tone. "My husband, don't worry. I've been out collecting materials too. I planted a whole batch for you." Then she leaned in, eyes twinkling. "I've got a big surprise for you. Want to guess what it is?" Hanju answered without thinking. "A storage ring." She blinked. "You guessed it?" Last month, while out on a mission with her fellow disciples, they stumbled into a battle between righteous and demonic forces. After defeating the demonic side, they looted a storage ring filled with rare treasures, and she brought it straight back to Hanju. "See," she said, "there are benefits to going out into the world. With your strength, you dominate." But Hanju shook his head. "Keep the ring. I just want a quiet life." Jing Hongshuan frowned. "Come on, be realistic. The Jade Pure sect won't be able to protect you forever. There are sects out there way beyond what you can imagine." Hanju raised an eyebrow. "So where exactly does our sect rank in the Great Swallow cultivation world?" She explained, "There are over 20 sects in total. Among the righteous path, 12 are considered elite. The Jade Pure sect? We're solidly in the top 5. Top 5? That's it? Hanju thought to himself. No wonder the Jade Pure sect has so many enemies lining up at the door. Sing Hongshuan went on, "Actually, the differences between most sects aren't that big. It's just that there's no formal martial competition to rank them clearly." She leaned in a little. "Speaking of which, someone new's been making waves. Huang Jihao from the Vermilion Bird sect. Word is, he killed an old nascent soul cultivator while still at the Golden Core stage. Now, he's likely stepped into the spirit transformation realm." Hanju narrowed his eyes. "They say he plans to challenge every sect in the Great Swallow cultivation world." Jing Hongshuan tilted her head playfully. "If he shows up at our door, you'll take action, right, God-slaying elder?" Hanju was stunned. "What does any of this have to do with me? Why is every maniac in the world my problem now?" He sighed. "Has this Huang Jihao killed anyone?" "Nope, he hasn't. Vermilion Bird sect's still a righteous sect after all." Hearing that, Hanju relaxed completely. "Then, let him come. I, Hanju, will be here to welcome him." "No problem." 1 year later, in a forest just outside the Jade Pure sect, a man named Ye Sanlong stood beneath a tree, restless. As a steward of the Raincoat Holy Church, he had been waiting for Taoist. "It's been over a month. Where is he?" Rumors about the Jade Pure sect's God-slaying elder had been flying in all directions. Some said he was ferocious, slapping even passing dogs for no reason. Others described him as overly cautious and reclusive, never seen in public. If not for that man, Ye Sanlang would have infiltrated the sect long ago. Suddenly, a voice rang out behind him. "You must be Steward Yi of the Raincoat Holy Church?" Ye Sanlang spun around. A young man stood there, Han Ju. Using the system's area detection for powerful presences, Han Ju had tracked him down. "I'm Taoist's direct disciple," he said coolly. "He's under heavy watch by the sect leader, so he sent me to take over operations." Ye Sanlong didn't reply. Instead, he struck out with a palm to Han Ju's chest. "The secret signal was inside the message," he muttered. "Even the mole wouldn't know the identity of their contact." But something was wrong. Ye Sanlong's palm landed, yet he was the one who staggered back. "What? That strike didn't even scratch him." He stared at Han Ju, stunned. "How?" "I've only ever seen this level of power from our own leader. But this guy, he's just a Foundation establishment cultivator. 9th level at best." His face turned pale. "It's him." Without another word, he turned and fled. "If we want to handle the God-slaying elder, we'll need half of our top forces. This is critical. I must report back." Before he could finish the thought, Han Ju summoned the heaven-punishing demon Godsword. In one clean strike, Ye Sanlong's body was obliterated. His primordial spirit tried to flee, but Han Ju activated Myriad Thunderstorm, sealing him in place. "Speak," Han Ju ordered. "What's the Raincoat Holy Church planning?" Trapped and trembling, Ye Sanlong revealed everything. Before destroying a sect outright, The Raincoat Holy Church would first abduct its most gifted disciples, spirited away to secret camps. That way, when the sect was crushed, the captured prodigies, cut off from their roots and desperate, would have nowhere left to turn. They'd have no choice but to join us, Yi Sanlang admitted quietly. Hanju's gaze turned even colder. Is your target only the Jade Pure Sect, or the entire cultivation world? Ye Sanlang looked down. The entire cultivation world. Hanju narrowed his eyes. You've got guts. And what about your top ranks? Does the Raincoat Holy Church have anyone in the spirit transformation realm? Or even fusion void? There are definitely spirit transformation cultivators, Ye Sanlang answered. As for fusion void, I'm not sure. With all that power, why hide in the shadows? Where are the captured geniuses being kept? Ye Sanlang hesitated, then said, I'm just the steward. I don't know the details. Hanju raised an eyebrow. A 7th-level nascent soul cultivator is just a steward? This Raincoat Holy Church is seriously insane. Ye Sanlang began trembling. Senior, I've learned my lesson. I swear I won't dare again. Please spare me. Ding! System notification. Ye Sanlang's hatred toward you has reached 6 stars. Hanju let out a silent sigh. You made your choice. Then he said coldly, Fine, you may go. Yi Sanlang's face lit up with joy, but it lasted only a heartbeat. The next instant, his primordial spirit was erased, turned to nothing. Nearby, Sing Hongxuan stumbled upon something sparkling in the grass. Wow, another storage ring. I'm taking this one back to my husband. 2 years passed. Li Tingzi came knocking at Hanju's cave dwelling. Elder Han, I need your help. We've found where the Raincoat Holy Church is keeping the captured disciples. The place is heavily fortified. We'll lead the assault head on. I want you to sneak in and take out their leadership. Hanju didn't even hesitate. No, it's a bad idea. Li Qingzi looked stunned. Why? Hanju crossed his arms. What if this is a trap? Lure the tiger from the mountain, then attack the sect while I'm gone. Can you defend the Jade Pure Sect if a spirit transformation level enemy shows up? Remember, a 7th-level nascent soul was just a steward. Li Qingzi went silent, then nodded grimly. You're right. I'll lead the attack myself. I'll leave the Jade Pure Sect in your hands. Hanjue replied firmly, Unless a fusion void realm cultivator shows up, no one will even think about touching this sect. Satisfied, Li Qingzi left. Once alone, Hanjue entered the simulation battlefield to test himself. He selected Duan Tongtian as his opponent, setting the difficulty to 9th-level spirit transformation. The result? A draw. Hanju emerged from the simulation, face dark. A draw at best, and if he were fusion void, I'd be done for. He sighed. Time to get serious. I need to go into closed-door cultivation immediately. Before that, he quickly checked his social circle. His disciple? Still getting pummeled. Hanju sighed again. Hang in there, kid. Once I'm strong enough, I'll come save you. Meanwhile, in a dim, crumbling house deep in enemy territory, 4 figures in straw raincoats sat silently. They'd been waiting for Ye Sanglang's return far too long. Something was wrong. Suddenly, the door exploded inward. The 4 jumped to their feet, weapons flashing. The intruder didn't even blink. This is it? You're not even worth unsheathing my sword. One of them snarled, Who are you? The figure stepped into the light, eyes sharp. I'm Huang Jihao of the Vermilion Bird Sword sect. I'm here to challenge the Raincoat Holy Church. He pointed a finger at them. Now talk. Where's your headquarters? The moment they realized the visitor was Hanju, panic swept across their faces. Thinking quickly, one of them spoke up. Our leaders in closed-door cultivation won't be coming out anytime soon. How about this? Why not challenge the Jade Pure Sect first? Beat their strongest, and we'll reveal the location of our holy church's main gate. Wang Jiao paused, surprised. The Jade Pure Sect? That fading sect? They're no match for me. But the man continued. It's not the same anymore. A powerful figure's emerged, someone they call the God-slaying Elder. Took down a spirit transformation powerhouse with just 1 strike. His strength? No one knows the limit. Wang Jiao frowned. I've faced their sect leader and supreme elder, mediocre at best. Never heard of this God-slaying elder. The Raincoat sect members pressed on. Ask around. You'll see we're not lying. We wouldn't dare deceive someone like you, Huang Jihao replied. Fine, give me the Raincoat sect's location. I'll deal with the Jade Pure sect first, then come for you. Their eyes widened in shock. They thought they'd dodged disaster, but faced with death, they had no choice but to give in. Scene shift. Hanju's cave dwelling. Chang Yue visited again that day. The moment she saw the chicken, now nearly human-sized, she rushed over in delight. Hanju warned her. Careful, that's my mount. Don't mess it up. Chang Yue laughed. A chicken for a mount. You're something else. You know, seeing your face always brightens my day. With talent like yours, your parents must be incredible, right? Hanju replied flatly. Just ordinary folks. It's been over 100 years. They're probably long gone. Once they left me, we had no bond left. Even Elder Iron showed more loyalty. Then he quickly changed the subject. If you've got something to say, spit it out. You heard of Elder Guan, our master's third senior brother? She asked. Hanju shrugged. Never met him. He fled 300 years ago after crossing the wrong person. Rumor has it he's back. Didn't the elders mention anything? Hanju cleaned his ears lazily. Not my concern. It said he's returning to compete for sect leadership. Apparently, he's got a soft spot for our master, maybe even wants to be her cultivation partner. That caught Hanju's attention. His expression shifted. What's his strength? They say he found great fortune beyond the Great Swallow and reached spirit transformation. The sect's practically throwing a party to welcome him. Hanju nodded. Got it, sister. You can head back now. Chang Yu noticed something was off, but left anyway. As she disappeared from view, Hanju muttered, Tell sect leader Li. I'll make sure he keeps his position. His gaze darkened. A showdown with Elder Guan was on the horizon. But the real problem was still Huang Jihao. His mastery of the sword path was terrifying. Just then, the system triggered an alert. A born genius had appeared nearby. That genius was Huang Jihao. Right then, Hanju felt a throbbing headache creep in. Another system quest had been triggered. A spiritual treasure was on the line. He figured he'd warm up first, run a few simulation trials before heading out. 5 minutes later, the target was down. Second try? Only took 2 minutes. Hanju frowned. Still can't one-shot him? No wonder. Someone with an innate sword heart lasting 2 minutes against me. Looks like keeping things quiet won't be an option this time. Too late to stay low-key. He'd have to intercept Huang Jihao before he reached the sect gates. Down at the foot of the Jade Pure sect, Hanju was strolling forward when his eyes caught a figure leaning casually against a tree. Foundation Establishment Realm, 9th level, but he hadn't sensed a thing. This kid's interesting, he muttered. Huang Jihao eyed the young man. Under the system's cursed charm buff, his heart gave a jolt. Delicate features, graceful build, lips soft enough to break with a breath. Hair tousled like a breeze caught in the flush of youth. Ridiculously handsome. Just then, Hanju's system pinged. Huang Jihao's favorability toward you has increased to... Hanju nearly jumped. What the hell? I didn't do anything! Why is he suddenly into me? Before he could react, Hanju stepped forward. Kid, I like your vibe. How about becoming my disciple? I guarantee you'll hit nascent soul in no time. Hanju stiffened, covered in goosebumps. Why does this always happen? Did my ultimate charm get cursed or something? Keeping his tone firm, Hanju asked, Who exactly are you? And what business do you have with the Jade Pure sect? I'm Huang Jihao from the Vermilion Bird Sword sect. Surely you've heard the name. He smiled confidently. I'm here to challenge your so-called god-slaying elder. Only him? Hanju pressed. What about the sect leader? The former leader? Already beat them both, Hanju shrugged. Wasn't planning to waste more time here, but the Raincoat Holy Church insisted I deal with your elder before they'll reveal their base. At that, Hanju's hatred for the Raincoat Holy Church shot up. 6 stars, easy. He kept digging. And what's their leader like? Think your strength stacks up? No idea, Huang Jihao replied. The guy's a mystery. But enough questions. Are you becoming my disciple or not? Seeing Huang Jihao lose patience made Hanju smile. Hook, line, and sinker. Sure, Hanju said coolly. I'll be your disciple if you can handle 1 sword strike from me. You take it, I'm yours. Huang Jihao let out a laugh. Clearly you don't know who I am. Fine, go ahead. If your strike so much as scratches me, I'll turn around and leave. Never bother your sect again. Hanju's eyes lit up. Don't regret saying that. He summoned the heaven-punishing demon god sword. Hanju's face changed instantly. This wasn't just some fancy blade. And right then, boom. 6 types of spiritual power burst from Hanju like a volcanic eruption. Huang Jihao's pupils shrank. This was no ordinary opponent. As the spiritual energy surged, Hanju's face fell. I've been tricked. He instantly summoned layer after layer of protective shields. But it was too late. The black sword aura from Hanju's heaven-punishing demon god sword was already tearing through the air. Crack! The shield shattered in a blink. In a split-second move, Huang Jihao leapt away, barely dodging the blow. The sword energy raked across the ground, carving a deep trench like a scar in the earth. Landing shakily, Hanju stared in disbelief. What kind of technique is that? No, this isn't just swordsmanship. Are you, coming from the Jade Pure sect like that, sneaking around? Must be from some rogue sect. Hanju wasn't in the mood. The man continued. Bringing you in will earn me some serious merit. The elders will definitely take notice. Wrong words, wrong time. Gripping his sword, Hanju exploded forward. He needed someone to vent on. This guy was perfect. Back at the cave dwelling, Hanju received his reward. The system granted him a 6th grade spiritual treasure, the Burn Evil Bell. It could block any attack below the Fusion Void realm. The more spiritual energy you poured in, the heavier it became, until it rivaled a mountain in weight. Hanju lit up. Cloaked in his mystical god robe, now paired with the Burn Evil Bell, he declared with pride. Unmatched under the heavens, that's me. Just then, a familiar voice called out from outside the cave. It was Shishuang Fairy. Hanju quickly welcomed her in. This was the first time she had come to him of her own accord. Without waiting, Shishuang Fairy spoke first. You've heard about my senior brother Guan Yu Gang, right? I've heard bits and pieces. Master, he only let out a soft sigh. Senior brother Guan really is unlucky. Shishuang Fairy continued. Even though Huang Jihao was wounded, he still managed to defeat him. A nearby forest was torn apart by sword energy. It must have been Hanju trying to challenge our sect, but you drove him off, didn't you? Hanju froze. Master, you're not here to punish me, are you? Seeing him admit it, her expression shifted. To Hanju's surprise, Shishuang Fairy smiled. Why would I blame you? I just didn't expect someone like Huang Jihao to lose to a junior like you. She paused, then added, I came hoping you could help me keep senior brother Guan in check. Hanju blinked. Suppress Guan Yu Gang? But even if he's not as strong as sect leader Lai, he served the Jade Pure sect with everything he's got. He's even sacrificed his own cultivation progress for the sect. It wouldn't feel right to just strip him of his position. Shishuang Fairy nodded. That's why I'll let him challenge you once he's recovered. If he can beat you, he can take the seat of sect leader. What do you think? Hanju didn't hesitate. All right, that works. But let's keep this match under wraps. No need to humiliate him. Of course, she said. It's also for his pride. Just then, her eyes landed on the chicken nearby. You're raising a chicken? Looks unusual. Hanju smiled. Cultivation gets dull sometimes. It's nice to have a bit of company. That made Shishuang Fairy chuckle. So you get bored too, huh? She suddenly changed the subject. The Immortal Realm Conference is coming soon, once every 100 years. You can trade for treasures, pills, materials, even ancient manuals. Interested? Without missing a beat, Hanju shook his head. No thanks. I'd rather stay in seclusion and focus on cultivation. No need to take unnecessary risks. Meanwhile, over at the Vermilion Birdsword sect, Huang Jihao was reporting everything to his sect leader. Tang Han listened in silence, eyebrows rising as he heard the details. You're our top combat power after me, and yet you were overwhelmed? This is serious. Huang Jihao nodded. His spiritual pressure was overwhelming. I've never felt anything like it. He hesitated for a moment, then added, Also, he's ridiculously good-looking. No one in our sect comes close. There was a long pause. The sect master looked deadpan. Is that important? Flustered, Hanju quickly backtracked. Right, no, it's not. Just thought I'd mention it. Trying to shift gears, he added. Once I've recovered, I plan to challenge the Raincoat Holy Church next. Tanghan frowned. They may be in decline, but even a dying beast is still dangerous. 1,000 years of legacy doesn't vanish overnight. Their supreme elder approached me in secret, asking if the righteous sects would unite against them. I said no. Wang Jihao looked confused. Why? As long as their leader is alive, Tanghan said quietly, the Raincoat Holy Church won't fall. He was like you once, full of promise. Took a wrong turn into the demonic path and became their master. But this could be the perfect chance to test his strength. Then he fixed Wang Jihao with a sharp look. Don't be reckless. If you can't win, retreat. No shame in surviving. I know, Hanjue said confidently. I may be bold, but I'm not dumb. 7 years passed. Hanju sat reviewing his circle of influence. My disciple and Zhou Fan were captured, but their cultivation's actually gone up. Looks like they're just pretending to submit. As for sect leader Lai, he's either getting beat up or about to be. Just then, the chicken beside him spoke up. The chicken tilted its head and asked curiously, Master, what's the outside world like? I want to see what's beyond the mountain. By now, its strength had already reached the 8th layer of energy cultivation, faster than many humans. But more than power, it was its growing curiosity that concerned Hanju. Its mind's developing too fast. I need to give it a little mental guidance. Hanju crouched down, speaking seriously. The outside world? It's dangerous. Deadly, even. There are people out there who would love to turn you into dinner. Then, pointing at a map he drew with his finger, he said, Look, these places? Forbidden. You must never go there, not until you're completely invincible. Otherwise, the moment you leave, you die. Even I don't dare go out recklessly. The chicken froze. I won't go. Please, master, I'm staying here. Hanju smirked to himself. Brainwashing successful. Just then, Li Qingzi came rushing in. Elder Han! Trouble. Maple Valley's been wiped out by the Raincoat Holy Church. Hanju stood up instantly. The Valley Master sent one last message before dying. The Raincoat Holy Church has 10 spirit transformation cultivators, each strong enough to crush the entire Great Swallow cultivation world. And we might be next. Without missing a beat, Hanju started packing. Li Qingzi looked stunned, then nodded in admiration. You act fast in a crisis, calm and reliable. I knew I wasn't wrong about you. But Hanju zipped up his bag and said, Then we better run while we still can. Li Qingzi froze. Wait, what? Clutching Hanju's leg, he practically yelled. Do you hear yourself? Where are we even supposed to go? Even if we flee, no one will take us in. Other sects would just crush us or absorb us. The Jade Pure sect would still be doomed. Hanju was about to say, what matters is the people, not the name. But, just then, the system popped up. Crossed swords, faced with the crisis of annihilation, you have 2 options. 1. Run now. Be hunted by the Raincoat Holy Church, roam the world endlessly. Reward, a magical tool. 2. Stay and defend, stand your ground. If you repel them, you'll receive a spiritual treasure, a sword technique manual, and a destiny beast egg. Hanju fell silent. Wandering endlessly, is that really the life I want? He could escape, maybe even join them, but at that point, he wouldn't be laying low. He'd be surrendering. No, that wasn't an option. Looking over, Hanju asked, Li Qingzi, when do you think they'll make their move? Li Qingzi answered, They're still busy dealing with the aftermath at Maple Valley. We probably have 10 years. Hanju rested a hand on his shoulder. Sect leader, why does it feel like the Jade Pure sect is always under siege? I used to think we were strong. Li Qingzi hesitated, then gave a sheepish laugh. To be honest, the sect really is strong, but our founder, the true powerhouse, vanished 500 years ago. If he were still around, the Raincoat Holy Church wouldn't even dare to look our way. He lowered his voice. 1,000 years ago, he crushed the Raincoat Holy Church. Their leader was so traumatized, he went into seclusion for centuries. Hanju's expression shifted. So this is revenge. Li Qingzi nodded, a little embarrassed. Master and I already used the ancestral messaging artifact he left behind. As long as our ancestor returns, Li Qingzi said solemnly, holding Hanju's hand, the Raincoat Holy Church won't be a threat anymore. His voice softened. We just need to get through this storm. Once we do, you'll be able to cultivate in peace. No more looming threats. Hanju gave a reluctant nod, then immediately kicked Li Qingzi to the side. But let's be clear. If we can't win, I'm running. Li Qingzi quickly picked himself up. Of course. That's completely reasonable. Hanju dusted off his robe. By the way, got any nascent soul-level elixirs lying around? Li Qingzi gave an awkward smile. Well, alchemists are in short supply around here. You're on your own. Hanju didn't even bother replying. He just turned and walked off. All right then, goodbye. Li Qingzi panicked. Hey, we had a deal. You're sticking with the Jade Pure sect, remember? Without turning around, Hanju replied, Relax. I'm just going to buy a beast control bag. Makes it easier to run when the time comes. On the way, he glanced at the chicken beside him. You see that? Told you, it's dangerous out there. We're minding our own business and still get targeted. The chicken nodded, eyes wide. Master, let's just sneak away. Quietly, please. Hanju smiled. Now that's my disciple. You're learning. After purchasing the beast control bag, Hanju was preparing to return when the system suddenly chimed. Warning alert. Innate destiny individual detected nearby. Hanju's eyes narrowed. Another one? The Jade Pure sect is practically a magnet for monsters. Opening the profile, he checked the details. Name, Xianqing Jun. Realm, Foundation Establishment, 3rd Layer. Identity, moral body of a demon lord with an innate Tao heart and unparalleled talent. Background, created 800 years ago by a demon lord seeking ascension. The original self is sealed within the primordial spirit. Purpose, to wander the mortal realm, understand the world, and refine the Tao heart. Status, joined Jade Pure sect 3 years ago. Has remained low profile ever since. Hanju's heart dropped. A demon lord with an innate Tao heart. That's at least great vehicle level. What is she even doing here? Glancing around, he spotted the only woman nearby. That had to be her. He turned quietly, trying to slip away unnoticed, but too late. Her gaze was already on him. Warning favorability from Xianqing Jun. Han Jue froze. What the hell? I didn't even say anything. He turned back instinctively and locked eyes with her. Warning favorability increased. Hanju's expression twisted in horror. Cursed charm strikes again. Without hesitation, he activated the wind god technique, vanishing like a gust of smoke. Even the chicken was trembling. Master! That woman, she looked like she wanted to eat you. The outside world really is terrifying. Back at his cave, Hanju slammed the door shut. But it wasn't long before Xianqing Jun appeared outside. She stood quietly, staring at the message scrawled across the door. A moment of patience leads to a boundless sea and sky. She stared for a long while, then smiled to herself. There's truth in those words. Her interest deepened. I'm growing more and more curious about you. I like to save the tastiest ones for last. I'll visit again, Xianqing Jun said softly before turning to leave. As her figure disappeared into the distance, Hanju finally exhaled. Thank goodness, that formation must have hidden the entrance well enough. Still, a heavy weight settled on his mind. Forget the Raincoat Holy Church. I've somehow attracted a demon lord now. Though she looked like a mere Foundation Establishment cultivator, he knew better. At minimum, she had great vehicle-level power. Who in their right mind could handle that? Hopefully she just forgets I exist. Trying to push it from his thoughts, Hanju returned to seclusion for another 7 years. By then, his cultivation had reached the 8th layer of the nascent soul realm. Still, he wasn't satisfied. Too slow. If I don't break into spirit transformation before the Raincoat Holy Church attacks, we're done for. He checked the latest sect updates and immediately noticed something alarming. Li Qingzi, seriously injured, attacked by someone within the sect. Hanju frowned. Didn't I already screen for traitors? Then it hit him. Guan Yu Gang, I should have known. Quickly scanning his master's situation, Hanju saw no immediate danger and sighed in relief. But just then, a voice echoed from outside. "Fellow Taoist, may I visit you?" Hanju paused. It's her again. Xian Qingjun had already tried to visit twice in the past 7 years. She never forced her way in, so she didn't seem hostile. But this was the 3rd time, and 3rd time's never good. If he kept ignoring her, she might just bring the whole cave down. Resigned, Hanju stepped outside. Xian Qingjun smiled the moment she saw him. "You finally came out." The chicken immediately panicked, trembling as it burst into tears. "Please don't eat my master, I'm begging you." Xian Qingjun was stunned, completely thrown off. Hanju, mortified, sent the chicken flying with a punch. He stepped forward calmly. "I am Hanju. May I ask why fellow Taoist has come to my humble abode?" "I'm Xian Qingjun, disciple of Jade Bamboo Peak," she said gracefully. "We crossed paths years ago in the inner sect. Since then, your image has stayed with me, breathtaking and unforgettable. Your beauty is unrivaled under heaven." Hanju was speechless for a moment. Then, quietly, "Thank you for the kind words. If there's nothing else, I'll be taking my leave now." But Xian Qingjun stepped forward, pulling out a card. "I've brought a gift. Please, don't turn it down." She held it out. "This is the Heavenly Immortal Mansion Order. That mansion is one of the most sacred cultivation grounds in the realm. Anyone who trains there, no matter how weak, can reach the nascent soul realm. With your looks, how could I not be interested?" Hanju stayed silent. "I'm serious," she added. "With your stunning face, I must have you." Hanju shook his head. "I have no intention of leaving the Jade Pure sect. I'll be cultivating here for the rest of my life." Xian Qingjun blinked in surprise, but quickly recovered. "No problem. If that didn't impress you, maybe this will." She rummaged through her sleeve and pulled out another item. "This is the Earth Spirit Sword. Golden Core cultivators, gone with a single slash." Still no reaction. "How about this?" she offered, holding up a glowing bottle. "Elixirs for breakthrough, perfect for pushing past the bottleneck into Golden Core realm." Hanju remained as calm and unmoved as ever. "Undeterred," she continued. "Fine, then I'll throw in a body refining technique and 3 powerful spell manuals, and more." As she kept pulling out treasure after treasure, Hanju quickly raised a hand to stop her. "Wait, hold on. I should probably mention, I'm already in the nascent soul realm." The moment he revealed his cultivation, Xian Qingjun's eyes lit up with understanding. So this was the God-slaying elder. Almost at the same time, Hanjue received a system prompt. Star favorability from Xian Qingjun has increased too. Now that she knew who he really was, her joy only deepened. Without missing a beat, she pulled out another bottle. "This is a first-grade nascent soul alchemy, perfect for breaking into spirit transformation. 1 bottle enough? I've got more if you need it." Hanju stared at the alchemy, tempted, but something still didn't sit right. "Junior sister, what's your real background?" Xiang Qingjun only smiled, brushing the question aside. "My identity doesn't matter, but I would like to become your cultivation partner, senior brother. Would you be willing?" Hanju stood there, stunned. "Someone who can offer this many treasures. You're clearly not just a regular disciple. Can you help us fight against the Raincoat Holy Church?" But she refused without hesitation. "No, I'm only interested in you, senior brother." Of course. Hanju sighed internally. No way a demon lord would get involved so easily. Still, he pressed cautiously. "If I accept, what exactly does it cost me?" Xian Qingjun giggled, covering her mouth. "The cost? Just cultivating and growing stronger together. Doesn't that sound nice?" Right on cue, the system chimed in again. "Warning, Xian Qingjun wants to become your cultivation partner. You have the following options. 1. Refuse. How can a male cultivator be threatened by a woman, gain a sword path divine ability, and earn the enmity of a demon lord? 2. Accept. Bind your fates and share fortune, gain her favor and a divine ability inheritance." Hanju stared at the screen. What kind of trap is this, and why is option 2 in such a ridiculously large font? Meanwhile, deep within the Raincoat Holy Church, Zifan and Yang Tiandong were sprawled out, bruised and battered. Their captors had finally stopped after what felt like hours. "Those two are really stubborn," one Raincoat disciple muttered, wiping his sweat. "Trying to escape every year, still won't give in, even after getting beat down." "Leader said not to kill them," another added. "Says we need symbols of unity, whatever." With that, they headed off for a drink, grumbling as they went. Lying on the ground, Zhaofan clenched his fists. "If I ever become strong enough, I'll wipe this sect off the map." Yang Tiandong groaned. "So this was your genius plan. We didn't even make it to the gates before getting caught." Zhaofan sighed. "How was I supposed to know someone was raising a giant lizard on the roof?" Yang Tiandong closed his eyes. "Let's stop struggling. My master will come for us." Zhaofan scoffed. "Your master, the so-called Slayer Elder? Don't count on it. He's not coming." Yang Tiandong's eyes flew open. "Don't talk nonsense. My master's the strongest in the Jade Pure sect." "If not him, then who?" Zhaofan looked away, muttering silently in his heart. "Your master truly is the most gifted cultivator I've ever seen. Stronger than anyone. But he also values his own life too much." Still, out loud, he said nothing. Yang Tiandong beamed with pride. "You're right. My master is just that incredible. I bet he's already on his way." "Maybe he's secretly watching," Yang Tiandong murmured, eyes shining with hope. "Testing me to see if I can endure hardship, to see if my Diao heart is stable enough." Zhaofan glanced over and rolled his eyes. "This poor kid's delusional. Best not to crush him. Let him have his dream." Back inside Hanju's cave. After reluctantly agreeing to become Xian Qingjun's cultivation partner, half under pressure, half because of her overwhelming gifts, Hanju received a new system prompt. Gift reward, divine ability, somersault cloud. Along with that, Xian Qingjun had handed over 3 bottles of nascent soul elixir. "I didn't even have a choice," Hanju thought, unscrewing a bottle. She just kept giving. The chicken stared at him nervously. "Master, is she going to eat you?" Without a word, Hanju kicked it aside. "Don't badmouth my cultivation partner." He downed the elixir in one gulp. The effects were immediate. His 6 spiritual powers churned clean and clear, absorption efficiency spiking dramatically. After so many years, a noticeable leap. 2 years later, powered by the potent elixirs, Hanju finally reached the peak of the nascent soul 9th layer. As always, he checked the system's surrounding scan. No strong cultivators nearby. Perfect. Time to make the breakthrough. He was just preparing to head into the 10,000 demon realm when Li Qingzi burst in, practically dancing with excitement. "Good news! Hanju's been captured by the Raincoat Holy Church." Hanju's eyes widened. "Captured?" "Yeah, he challenged them head-on," Li Qingzi said. "Now the Vermilion Bird Sword sect is furious. They're planning to team up with us against the Raincoat Holy Church." Hanju actually cracked a grin. "Hanju, what a guy! He finally did something right." But then Li Qingzi's tone shifted. "So I've been thinking about this upcoming operation." Hanju's smile vanished. "Nope, I know that look. You want to pull an elder away and you're afraid it'll weaken the sect's defenses, right?" "That's not what I—" "Send every elder if you want," Hanju interrupted. "I alone am enough to guard Jade Pure sect." Li Qingzi turned red with frustration. "You're unbelievable." But Hanju added calmly, "Also, I'm about to break through to the spirit transformation realm. I'll need a bit of time." Li Qingzi froze, then lit up. "Then we'll handle the assault. You focus on ascending." After he left, Hanju traveled to the 10,000 demon realm to prepare for the breakthrough. As his aura surged, a terrifying heavenly pressure blanketed the realm. Demons and beasts scattered in all directions, terrified. Moments later, boom! A giant bolt of purple lightning crashed down from the skies, engulfing Hanjue. Meanwhile, Li Qingzi, now in disguise, arrived at the Raincoat Holy Church, posing as one of their own. At the entrance, a gatekeeper stepped forward. "Token?" Li Qingzi, flustered, accidentally flashed the Jade Pure Sect's sect leader token. The gatekeeper blinked, stunned. Realizing the slip, Li Qingzi snatched it back and quickly replaced it with a steward token from the Raincoat sect and added a special edition fairy-themed scroll. The gatekeeper's eyes lit up. "Oh, this is the limited release fairy special." He eagerly stepped aside and buried himself in the reading material. Li Qingzi smirked as he passed through. "Huh, everything's in place. Just need to activate the teleportation array." Inside the Raincoat sect, a message was quickly dispatched. "All members report to the sect gate immediately." Shofan looked up, alarmed, as the guards scrambled. As Shofan watched the prison empty out, he sensed something was off. Too quiet, too sudden. Yang Tiandong suddenly sat up, eyes wide. "Wait, could it be? Is Master here to save me?" Shofan's excitement grew. "With this many guards rushing out, maybe there's a fight. Should we make a break for it again?" But Yang Tiandong shook his head this time. "No, let's not. Master will come. I believe in him." While the two argued back and forth, a loud crack split through the ceiling. Dust rained down as a massive object crashed through and hit the floor hard. From within the cloud of rubble, a voice echoed confidently. "All Jade Pure Sect disciples, your rescue has arrived." It was Li Qingzi. Both Yang Tiandong and Shofan lit up with joy. Meanwhile, at the 10,000 Demon Realm, Hanju's breakthrough to spirit transformation was a success. The system responded immediately. Gift reward, divine ability, 10,000 sword divine sect. Call forth the shadows of ancient swords from the river of history. The more spiritual power you possess, the more swords respond. But what thrilled Hanju even more was what came with the breakthrough. A lifespan of 3,000 years. Finally, a real path to longevity. When Hanju returned to his cave, the chicken rushed over in relief. "Master, you're back. I thought that scary lady ate you." Hanju smacked its head lightly. "What goes on in that bird brain of yours?" The chicken looked wounded. "Master, I'm a phoenix, remember?" "You're a chicken now. You'll become a phoenix after some serious cultivation." "Okay, but how long does serious cultivation take?" Ignoring the question, Han Jue opened his social feed. Friend Guan Yugang, heavily injured by Raincoat Holy Church. Friend Li Qingzi, heavily injured by Raincoat Holy Church. Friend Shofan, escaped from Raincoat Holy Church. Disciple Yang Tiandong also escaped from Raincoat Holy Church. Hanju smiled to himself. "Good job, all of you." Just then, a familiar voice came from behind. "I heard our Godslayer elder has advanced to spirit transformation." Hanju flinched. "You? What are you doing here?" It was Shan Qingjun, stepping in close. Hanju immediately grew tense. "Wait, she's not about to drag me into something again, right?" But she smiled faintly and said, "I came to say goodbye." "Goodbye?" Hanju blinked. "I'm leaving," she said softly. "It may be many years before we meet again. I just wanted to see you once more. If there's anything you want, I'll try to grant it." Hanju's face lit up like the sun, but he quickly forced a melancholic look. "Could you not leave? Life will feel so empty without you here." Jian Qingjun stared at him, then rolled her eyes. "Your expression is way too enthusiastic. Keep dreaming." She smirked. "I will meet you eventually, just not yet. Don't expect me to spend my days chatting with you." Hanju rubbed his chin in thought. "Well then, do you have any elixirs that boost cultivation at the spirit transformation level?" Without a word, Shan Qingjun pulled 4 bottles from her sleeve. "These are spirit transformation, spirit-enhancing pills. I've only got these 4. They're yours." Hanju quickly bowed. "How could I accept such generosity? Thank you." Dinkin stepped forward and gently lifted his chin with her fingers. "I won't see that face of yours for many years. I'm really going to miss it. Even though you've reached spirit transformation, that doesn't make you untouchable. Stay in the Jade Pure sect and focus on your cultivation. Don't go wandering around. This world isn't as kind as it looks." With those parting words, Xian Qingjun turned and walked away. As she disappeared into the distance, Hanju finally let out a breath he didn't know he was holding. Looks like she was only passing through the Jade Pure sect. Now, she's off chasing her path to enlightenment elsewhere. The chicken by Hanju's side? It flapped around joyfully. Whew! Don't have to worry about my master being eaten anymore. Hee hee hee! Meanwhile, far away at the Raincoat Holy Church headquarters, tension filled the air as the sect leader sat in council with the elders. The Vermilion Bird Sword sect wants an all-out war. What are your thoughts? An elder slammed his hand down. Why not just take Huang Jihao out? Let that send a message. The other elders immediately chimed in with agreement. But the sect leader didn't look convinced. His brow furrowed. They're being bold. Could someone be backing them in secret? That suggestion sent a wave of unease through the room. The elders stirred restlessly, clearly dissatisfied. This kind of hesitation won't get us anywhere, one elder grumbled. The room erupted with voices, all pushing the sect leader to act. Still, he raised a hand. It's not about fear. I'm thinking ahead, preparing for the worst. The Grand Elder couldn't take it anymore. Sect leader? You're not cautious. You're just afraid. We've already delayed long enough. He leaned forward. Here's the plan. A few of us elders will strike their main camp directly. Their forces are tied up fighting ours, which leaves their core wide open. Excitement crackled through the hall as the elders embraced the idea. The sect leader looked around, unsure. Do we really have to fight? Dozens of eyes locked onto him, burning with anticipation. Huang Zentian, the sect leader, finally nodded. Fine, I'll go myself. I'll head to the Vermilion Bird Sword sect, and to the Jade Pure sect. Master Shankui will come with me. Is that enough? Cheers rang out from the elders. Sect leader is wise. As the room buzzed with renewed energy, the Grand Elder turned to Shankui with a weary sigh. Please, when the time comes, don't waver. I'm afraid the sect leader will hesitate again. Master Shankui smiled faintly. I've been waiting for this. Back in the Jade Pure sect, Hanju had been meditating and refining his heart. Through relentless effort, he'd pushed his 6 realms of reincarnation technique to the 5th stage. And with that came a breakthrough, a new divine ability, an enhanced version of the 6 paths soul absorption. This technique could not only draw in souls but bind them deep within his primordial spirit, keeping them intact and imprisoned. He could also brand each soul with a 6 paths mark, one that would endure through every lifetime. No matter how many times a soul was reborn, as long as the mark remained, he could track them down across lifetimes. Even so, Hanju wasn't satisfied. His strength still wasn't enough. The Raincoat Holy Church might be manageable, but out there loomed an even greater threat, the monster-taming demon sect. He remembered Xiao, just an elder, yet already at the Fusion Void Realm. Their power ran deep, far deeper than they'd ever let on. As Hanju was deep in thought, Chang Yuer appeared out of nowhere. Master wants to see you, she said. She's asked you to come to Jade Seclusion Peak. It's important. An invitation from Zixuan Ferry wasn't something to take lightly. Naturally, Hanju couldn't refuse. When he arrived at the hall, most of the disciples had already gathered. Lu Sanqing, the former head disciple, had since become a core disciple. That role now belonged to his old 7th senior, Meng He. But what really stunned everyone wasn't the meeting. It was where Hanju sat, right next to Zixuan Ferry. Whispers swept through the room. No one said it aloud, but the speculation was instant. Could this be the god-slaying elder? When Meng Yi first found out the truth, he'd been stunned for days. But he quickly composed himself and gave a clear warning. Listen closely, all of you. Elder Han's identity is a sect secret. If anyone leaks it, you're out. No second chances. Hanju, meanwhile, was just as confused as the rest. Why has Master called me here? Could she be planning to hand her role over to me? How do I even turn that down? As these thoughts swirled in his mind, Zixuan Ferry finally spoke. Lately, I don't want anyone going into seclusion. Instead, focus on patrolling the outer areas of the Jade Pure sect. She paused, then continued. The sect leader sent word. He and the Vermilion Bird Sword sect are working together to strike the Raincoat Holy Church. Many of our captured disciples have been freed, but he's concerned. The enemy only revealed 5 spirit transformation experts. That means 5 more are likely planning something else. The hall grew quiet. Among the 18 peaks, our Jade Seclusion Peak has contributed the least. It's not just our numbers. It's also the sect leader's favoritism. You all understand what that means. A spark lit in the disciple's eyes. Years of quiet cultivation had built up more than strength. It had built anticipation. It's time to draw our swords. Zishuanferi turned her gaze toward Hanju. Elder Han, do you have the confidence to hold off a sudden strike from the Raincoat Holy Church's elites? That's when it clicked. So that's why I'm here, Hanju realized. She wants to calm their nerves. I've had some experience handling powerful opponents, Hanju replied modestly. The disciples looked at one another, reassured. If this man was standing guard, they had nothing to fear. Then a voice entered Hanju's mind. Zishuanferi was transmitting a message directly. Tell me honestly, how far has your cultivation come? Hanju didn't hesitate. Level 1. She narrowed her eyes. After all those years in seclusion, and you're still just at level 1? Then he added, Spirit Transformation Level 1. Her expression froze. He had only broken into nascent soul not long ago, and now he'd already crossed into Spirit Transformation? You're not even trying to hide your progress anymore, she thought. Am I not your master at this point? Out loud, she said, Well, I haven't taught you much anyway. If you need anything, just say it. You've given more to the Jade Pure Sect than it's ever given you. Hanju thought for a moment. I need elixirs for the Spirit Transformation stage. Zishuanferi shook her head. We're out of those. Then, please enhance the spiritual energy in my cultivation grounds. I'll find another way. She didn't argue, but deep down she was stunned. He's growing way too fast. At this rate, the Jade Pure Sect may soon be too small to contain him. This Jade Pure Sect. It won't be able to hold this great Buddha for long, Zishuanferi thought quietly. Then she turned to Hanju. How long do you plan to stay here? Let's be honest. People aim for higher ground, and rivers flow downhill. With your rapid growth, sooner or later this place might hold you back. Hanju looked at her seriously. Master, you can rest easy. If I wanted to leave, I would have done it long ago. Besides, even if I went somewhere else, I'd still face the same challenges. Rather than run around endlessly, I'd rather stay here and cultivate in peace. Still skeptical, Zishuanferi asked, but compared to other sects, Jade Pure is far from the strongest. Aren't you worried that staying here will limit your potential? Hanju replied firmly, You know my temperament, Master, and you know my abilities. If I ever feel the need to move on, I'll tell you myself. Inside, though, his thoughts were very different. Leave to pursue the Tao in some grand, wide world? Please. I'd rather be a dragon in a small stream than a minnow lost in the ocean. A quiet life. What's so bad about that? Just then, a system alert chimed in his mind. Alert! A powerful presence has entered the Jade Pure Sect's perimeter. At the same time, outside the mountain gate, Huang Zuntian and Master Shan Kui stood at the peak overlooking the sect below. This place looks pitifully weak, Huang Zuntian muttered. Is this some sort of trap? Shan Kui scanned the area. There's not a single spirit transformation realm cultivator here. Barely 10 nascent souls. This is an opportunity. Still, something didn't sit right with Huang Zuntian. His instincts whispered caution. Don't overthink it, Shan Kui urged. Chances like this don't come twice. Act now. But Huang Zuntian didn't move. He hesitated again, continuing to observe in silence. Shan Kui's patience wore thin. If I could beat you, I'd take the sect leader's seat for myself. As they lingered, unaware, Hanju stood at a distance, quietly watching. He didn't rush in. Instead, he launched a simulated battle in his system to assess their strength. The results surprised him. They're not as strong as I thought. Only then did he dare approach. While the two intruders continued their quiet dispute, a voice called out from behind. So, the Raincoat Holy Church only sent you two? Both men froze. Huang Zuntian flinched. When did he get here? I didn't even sense him. Jade Pure Sect really does hide its cards well. Not knowing who they were facing, Huang Zuntian instinctively stepped back. But Shan Kui, spotting only one opponent, sneered. You've got a sharp tongue. Let's see if your skills match it. Without another word, he raised his hands and summoned the 6 directions sky-devouring seal. Wait! Huang Zuntian tried to stop him, but it was too late. Shan Kui charged ahead. Hanju didn't flinch. Instead, he spoke calmly. I've heard that the leader of your sect isn't fond of killing. So why attack the Jade Pure Sect? The question caught Huang Zuntian off guard. He stumbled for a response, unable to explain. Meanwhile, Shankui had already completed the seal and launched it straight at Hanju. In response, Hanju activated the 3 pure shadow sword. A golden flash erupted, and before Shankui could even react, in an instant, poof, Shankui was reduced to a mist of blood. A single sword strike. A 7th level spirit transformation cultivator erased. Huang Zuntian stood frozen. His body trembled. So it was a trap after all. The remnants of Shankui's soul lingered for a brief moment, just long enough for understanding to dawn. Now I see why the sect leader always acted so cautiously. There are always greater heights beyond what we know. But before that thought could settle, Hanju raised 2 fingers. The soul shattered into nothingness. Huang Zuntian instinctively stepped forward to intervene, but it was far too late. Even as someone who had reached the 9th level of spirit transformation, he couldn't see through Hanju's power. Not even a hint. This man, he's beyond spirit transformation. He must have stepped into the fusion void realm. Gripped by fear and helplessness, Huang Zuntian spat out a final threat. You'll regret this. The Sun Code Holy Church won't stop until you're all dead. Then, he turned and bolted. Hanju watched him for a beat, speechless at the sight. Huang Zuntian fled with everything he had, muttering as he vanished over the horizon. My 6th sense was right all along. Jade Pure Sect hides monsters. Shankui, when I rise in power, I swear I'll avenge you. But Hanju wasn't about to let him go. Summoning his somersault cloud, he shot into the sky and closed the distance in seconds. Pointing his sword straight at Huang Zuntian, he declared coldly, I don't believe in second chances. You want to kill a weed? You burn the root too. Understand? Cornered, Huang Zuntian panicked. Wait, I didn't want this fight either. I'm the sect leader. Everything I did was for my people. He scrambled for justification. If I hadn't held back, who knows how many of your disciples would have died. Look, they're still alive. I kept them safe. Let me go, and I swear on my life, I'll order the Raincoat Holy Church to stay away from Jade Pure Sect forever. Hanju stared silently. For a fleeting moment, Huang Zuntian thought he'd won a sliver of mercy. Then, a flash of sword light split the sky. The heaven-punishing demon god sword came crashing down. Hanzu spoke to the crumbling primordial spirit with a voice like thunder. You couldn't stop this war before. What makes you think you'll stop it now? At that instant, the system chimed in. New update. Huang Zuntian has developed a 2-star enmity toward you. Hanju let out a cold laugh. Still alive? No. Wait, an illusion? A clone? He narrowed his eyes. No, this is a life substitute talisman, HMPH. So you're really putting everything on the line. Burning the last of his spiritual energy, Huang Zuntian activated a teleportation treasure and vanished, hurtling toward the Raincoat Holy Church's sanctuary. As long as I make it back, there's still a chance. Unless he has some divine technique that can launch hundreds of attacks in an instant. He scoffed at the idea. No one's that strong. But high above, Hanju raised his sword. Golden light surged skyward and split into thousands of beams. Each beam turned into a sword. A storm of radiant blades rained down from the heavens like a celestial Gatling gun. 10,000 swords returned to origin. At that moment, all of Huang Zuntian's thoughts collapsed into raw, primal terror. He had no strength left to resist. Only a scream escaped him before he was torn apart in mid-teleport. The violent wave of spiritual power sent shockwaves across the Jade Pure Sect. The Guardian cultivators felt it instantly and raced to the source. When the crowd arrived at the scene, they were utterly stunned. The mountain at the main gate flattened. There was no need to ask who was behind it. Back in his cave dwelling, Hanju had neatly secured the final wisp of Huang Zuntian's primordial spirit, tying it up like a hairy crab. Eyes wide with fear, Huang Zuntian trembled. Whoa! That 10,000 swords returned to origin. Nearby, the chicken eyed the trapped spirit, as if wondering whether it might be edible. Hanju struck a dramatic pose. Me, I'm Cao Sao. Both the chicken and Huang Zuntian blinked, completely confused. Seeing their blank stares, Hanju cut to the point. Enough stalling. Start talking. Tell me everything about the Raincoat Holy Church. Does your sect still have a supreme elder? Yes, Huang Zuntian admitted, but he's already left the Great Swallow region. And how did you become sect leader? I have my own unique techniques, he muttered, unwilling to elaborate. Once Hanju confirmed that the Raincoat Holy Church had no powerful elders left, he lost all interest in Huang Zuntian. But the spirit, desperate to survive, begged for mercy. Please, let me live. I can redeem myself, join the Jade Pure Sect, and prove my worth. Hanju didn't destroy him. Instead, he activated the six-path soul absorption and locked Huang Zuntian's spirit deep within his own primordial spirit. With their leader captured, the Raincoat Holy Church was no longer a threat. The chicken, observing the situation, let out a sigh of relief. Finally, the master doesn't have to keep running anymore. But inside his prison, Huang Zuntian cursed in silence. Those damned elders. If I ever get free, I'll kill every last one of you. While Hanju was neutralizing the cult's strongest threat, the ally forces of the Jade Pure Sect and Vermilion Bird Sword Sect were launching a fierce assault on the Raincoat Holy Church's stronghold. Leaderless, the Raincoat disciples began panicking. They considered retreating into the inner sect, but before they could regroup, a figure on a flying sword descended upon them. It was Huang Jihao. You ambushed me last time with zero honor, he shouted. Now, unless one of you tells me where your sect leader is, don't blame me for being ruthless. Already shaken and unwilling to fight, the Raincoat disciples turned to flee, only to be intercepted by Li Qingzi and several Jade Pure Sect elders. Li Qingzi announced coldly, We've already torn down the Raincoat Holy Church's plaque. Your leader tried to attack our sect and ran into our god-slaying elder. The Jade Pure Sect stands unharmed, but your sect leader hasn't returned. He shrugged. I think that tells you everything. The news shattered what little morale the Raincoat disciples had left. They immediately raised white flags and pleaded for peace. With the conflict resolved, Hanju returned to his peaceful life. He consumed the last of the spirit transformation elixirs gifted by Shin Jun, but his cultivation progress slowed. Eventually, he plateaued at the third level of the spirit transformation realm. He considered settling with that. Maybe a quiet life was enough. Just then, a voice echoed from outside the cave. It was sect leader Li. He had returned with a familiar face, Hanju's long-lost disciple. The moment Yang Tiandong saw his master, he burst into tears. Master, do you know how much I've suffered all these years? The only thing that kept me going was believing, truly believing, that one day you'd come save me. Hanju didn't dare admit the real reason he'd stayed put all this time. He was simply too afraid of dying out there. But to his surprise, Yang Tiandong threw his arms around him and sobbed with overwhelming gratitude. Master, the sect leader, told me everything. If you hadn't been protecting the Jade Pure Sect, they never would have dared launch a rescue. You're my god. Hanju awkwardly patted his disciple's head, a pang of guilt hitting him. You've done well, he said quietly. From now on, I'll teach you everything I know. Right on cue, the system notified him. Yang Tiandong's favorability towards you has risen to. Watching the tearful reunion, Li Qingzi smiled warmly. Congratulations, all of the kidnapped disciples have been rescued. But Elder Han, there's still something we need to talk about. His expression turned serious. My informant inside the Raincoat Holy Church said their sect leader, Huang Zuntian, vanished near our territory. When we got back, we also noticed an entire mountain near the north gate was gone. That was you, wasn't it? Hanju gave a calm nod. Li Qingzi's eyes lit up. Incredible, like a 500-pound hero dropping from the heavens. You've done what no one else could. With Huang Zuntian gone, wiping out the Raincoat Holy Church was easy. We owe it all to you. He beamed. Jade Pure Sect producing someone like you? That's divine providence. Watching the sect leader practically dance with joy, Hanju offered a reminder. Now that everything's settled, maybe you should stop wandering off and focus on your cultivation. We don't want you getting beat up again. That hit a nerve. Li Qingzi straightened up, suddenly remembering something. Right. In 6 months, our ancestral master will return to the sect. And in 5 years, it'll be Jade Pure Sect's 1,000-year anniversary. We'll be inviting leaders from all major sects. He grinned. I'm going to promote you. Make sure everyone knows you're the one who took down Huang Zuntian. We'll let your name echo through the entire cultivation world. Hanju raised his hand quickly. Absolutely not. You can't tell anyone I killed him. I don't want the spotlight. I just want to cultivate in peace. Li Qingzi frowned. But if your reputation spreads, others will think twice before messing with us. Hanju replied flatly, I've already racked up plenty of karma for this sect. If more enemies come for us, sure, I can escape easily. But what about the Jade Pure sect? Will you be able to survive it? That shut the sect leader up. Fine, he said at last. I'll make sure your cave is infused with more spiritual energy to support your cultivation. And once the ancestral master returns with celestial treasures, they'll definitely help you advance further. As he walked away, Li Qingzi muttered under his breath, Ancestor, please return soon. We really can't afford this little ancestor. Not long after, the system chimed again. Reward granted. 5-rank spiritual treasure, 9-star spirit stepping boots. These boots not only allowed Hanju to walk on spiritual energy and absorb it on contact, but they also massively boosted his teleportation abilities. And it boosted movement speed too. For Hanju, these boots were exactly what he needed, a perfect escape tool tailor-made for survival. On top of that, the system dropped a manual, Heartless Flying Sword Technique. A ruthless sword art designed to drain away emotion and desire, increasing lethality with every use. Hanju figured this one was better suited for Yang Tiandong. Then came the most surprising reward yet, a divine beast egg containing a chaotic heavenly dog, a creature said to be able to devour the moon itself. But something didn't add up. A dog hatched from an egg? Hanju stared at it, puzzled. How do I even hatch this thing? To Yang Tiandong and the chicken, it looked like their master was casually pulling rare treasures from thin air. Could master be running some kind of treasure business on the side? Yang Tiandong muttered. Hanju looked back and forth between the egg and the chicken, an idea suddenly clicking. Little chicken, I need a favor. The chicken squawked. Master, I'm male, you know. Half a year later, the long-awaited day arrived. The founding ancestor was finally returning to the Jade Pure sect. All the disciples assembled, lined up solemnly in full formation to welcome him. Excitement stirred the air. Then came the gasps. A massive void vortex appeared in the sky, swirling open like the heavens themselves had been torn. An elderly man emerged, descending slowly, carrying the corpse of a colossal beast on his back. His laughter echoed like rolling thunder. Even just that sound radiated a pressure far beyond anything Duan Tongtian could ever release. The Supreme Elder immediately barked the order, Form the array! The ground formation activated, bathing the sect in golden light. From below, banners unfurled. Welcome home, founding ancestor! With a grin, the Supreme Elder looked up with a playful tone. Master, what do you think? Grand enough for you? The old man chuckled, clearly pleased. Much grander than when I left. He casually tossed the massive beast to the ground. Pick this thing off on my way back. It's Fusion Void Realm. Use it for alchemy or reward the disciples. Whatever works. A chorus of praise erupted from the crowd. Truly worthy of the title Sage! The Nine Cauldrons sage turned to Li Qingzi and the elders. So, anyone stand out while I was gone? If so, I'll personally teach them for a bit. Without hesitation, Li Qingzi and the Supreme Elder began recounting Hanju's feats, slaying Huang Zuntian, saving the sect, single-handedly shifting the tide of the war. Where's this disciple? The sage asked. Li Qingzi replied, He's still cultivating in his cave. He doesn't come out often. The ancestor nodded. No rush. I'll visit him myself in a few days. Meanwhile, Hanju's peaceful cave had become a chaotic mess. Ever since the heavenly dog egg hatched, the place had been in non-stop uproar. Chickens flying, dogs jumping, peace and quiet were nowhere to be found. Despite being hatched by the chicken, the dog refused to recognize it as its parent. Both were hot-headed, stubborn, and spent their days chasing and bickering. Elder Han, these 2 demonic pets of yours are quite something. Where'd you get them? Hanju turned and saw an unfamiliar old man watching the commotion. Who are you? He asked. I'm the founding ancestor, the man replied with a smile. 9 Cauldrons Sage. Hanju quickly stood up and gave a respectful fist and palm salute. He'd fought this man dozens of times in his system simulations, but with strength at Fusion Void Realm level 8, the outcome had never once been in Hanju's favor. Still, the real thing was far more relaxed than the simulations. Nine Cauldrons Sage gave a nod of appreciation. I came to thank you. I must thank you, young friend, the Nine Cauldrons Sage said warmly. You stepped forward when the Jade Pure sect needed you most. I won't forget that. He smiled, clearly pleased with what he was about to offer. As a token of my gratitude, I'd like to extend you an opportunity. Are you willing to hear it? Hanju nodded silently, expression unreadable. 1,000 years ago, I left the Great Swallow Cultivation world to seek out the legendary land immortal. After countless trials, I made it overseas, and eventually became the deputy sect master of one of the most powerful sects there. His voice grew proud. I'm planning to take a few talented individuals with me, a once-in-a-lifetime chance. What'd he say? Hanju thought grimly. While my home was under siege, you were living it up overseas as a deputy sect master? Just then, the system window popped up in front of him with two clear options. Option 1, go overseas with the Nine Cauldrons Sage, receive a bottle of high-grade cultivation elixir, a magical tool, and a spiritual treasure. Option 2, stay in the Jade Pure sect, continue cultivating Cao, focus on long-term stability. Receive a divine ability inheritance. This time, Hanju noticed something different. The first option offered more tangible rewards, but the second felt deeper. He turned to the ancestor. Is your overseas sect the strongest in that world? The old man chuckled. Not invincible, but we are one of the true overlords. Few dare challenge us. Hanju raised an eyebrow. Overlords? So you do have enemies then? Of course, Nine Cauldrons, Sage replied without hesitation. But we have many Fusion Void realm experts. Our foundation is solid. Sensing Hanju's hesitation, Li Qingzi quickly stepped in. Elder Han, if this is too much to decide right away, you can think it over. There's no pressure. The ancestor will be staying with us for now. Li Qingzi's thoughts were practical. If Hanju left, what would happen to the sect the next time disaster struck? Indeed, the Nine Cauldrons Sage added. I plan to remain here for the next 50 years. During that time, I want to transform the Jade Pure sect into one of the sacred lands of the Great Swallow world. You have time to think. But to everyone's surprise, Hanju didn't need it. Thank you, ancestor, for your generous offer, he said, standing tall. But I've made my decision. I'll stay here, in the Jade Pure sect. He continued, just as you ventured out long ago to find strength for our sect, I too have my own way of protecting and growing it. This is my cultivation path. For a moment the ancestor was silent. Then he smiled and nodded. Well said. He turned to Li Qingzi. I've heard Elder Han prefers a quiet life of cultivation. From today forward, this entire mountain will belong to him. He pointed toward the peak. No more depending on cave-dwelling spirit veins. This mountain's natural vein will be enough. Li Qingzi arranged for the other disciples to vacate the caves. From now on, this mountain is Elder Han's domain. Both Hanju and Li Qingzi were stunned. Hanju immediately bowed in thanks. Thank you, ancestor. This was better than any gift from an overseas sect. As the ancestor left, Li Qingzi walked with him, unable to hold in his curiosity. Ancestor, were you testing Elder Hanju S now? You could say that, Nine Cauldrons Sage replied with a knowing look, and now I've got my answer. I placed the rarest heavenly materials and spiritual treasures I've collected over the years in the vault. Take some out for him. Also, install a spirit-gathering formation to concentrate the mountain's energy. And as for the other disciples living nearby, you should know how to handle the other disciples, the ancestor said to Li Qingzi. Then, casting him a look, he asked, You're worried, aren't you? That if he follows me overseas, there'll be no one left to protect the Jade Pure sect? Li Qingzi gave a sheepish nod. That's exactly it. Besides, Elder Han's cautious nature makes it unlikely he'd want to leave. Cautious? The Nine Cauldrons Sage scoffed. That's a poetic way to say afraid. First time I've heard fear sound so elegant. He chuckled smugly. Back in my day, I wasn't the cautious type. Li Qingzi sighed inwardly. Here we go again. Another chapter from the ancestors' endless tales of glory days. Back in his cave dwelling, Hanju received another system prompt. You've chosen to remain in the Jade Pure sect. Reward, divine ability, Buddha's curse. A Buddhist divine ability? Hanju raised an eyebrow. System, are you trying to make me a monk now? According to the system, This technique could transcend souls and was especially effective against evil cults. That same day, Xing Hongshuan dropped by, practically glowing with excitement. "Guess what I found at the market auction," she said proudly. "This is a piece of innate spirit-gathering jade. Super rare. It can pull in spiritual energy from the heavens and even refine it into spirit pills." She presented it with both hands, a glimmer of anticipation in her eyes. Hanju reached out with his spiritual sense, and his face darkened. "Don't just bring back random artifacts," he said sharply. "This thing is sealed with a malicious spirit." "What? But I checked it with my spiritual sense." It masked its aura to look like pure spiritual energy. Only someone at the nascent soul stage could have seen through it. Xing Hongshuan's face fell. I'm sorry. I nearly caused you harm." "I'll purify it," Hanju said calmly, taking the jade. Using the 6 paths soul absorption technique, he pulled out the malevolent entity and burned it to ash. Then he handed the cleansed jade back. "Keep it. You'll need it when you reach the Golden Core realm." Xing Hongshuan looked stunned and deeply grateful. That was close. "Good thing my husband is so powerful. How can I ever repay you?" She gave a playful smile. "Maybe I should just offer myself?" But Hanju, ever blunt, replied, "At your current level, you're not qualified to be my cultivation partner." The mood instantly shifted. Xing Hongshuan's smile faded, hurt flickering across her face. Realizing he may have gone too far, Hanju quietly took out a storage ring. "These are the treasures you've given me over time. I've kept them all. I'm returning them to you." He added, "The spiritual energy here is strong. You should move nearby to cultivate." That caught her off guard. "Wait, is he asking me to live with him?" Her face flushed. But Hanju immediately clarified, "I meant you should move here to focus on cultivation. Don't get the wrong idea. Also, keep our relationship quiet. If my enemies find out, they might use you against me." Xing Hongshuan nodded quickly, a small smile returning to her lips. "He really does care about me." Meanwhile, the chicken and the heavenly dog watched from the side, already imagining some wild romantic soap opera full of betrayal and heartbreak. A year and a half later, thanks to the personal involvement of the real mind cauldrons, the spiritual energy across all 18 peaks and the intersect pond of the Jade Pure sect saw a massive boost. The increased energy attracted countless beasts, many of them rivaling nascent soul cultivators in strength. With beasts now tamed to guard both the Jade Pure sect and the surrounding 10,000 demon realm, the sect's strength reached new heights. And as momentum grew, the long-awaited Millennium celebration finally approached. One after another, righteous sects from across the cultivation world sent emissaries and tributes.